Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum. Sorry about that. I was there sitting here um, speaking on, and then I realized the stream's not live. I actually ended it. So apologies. I've now restarted the stream. You're welcome to join. Just click the link that's in the description. I'll also put the link here in the comments. There we go. Good. So, what's the title of the stream? Cowboys. Why is it Cowboys? Because in line with what we call, builders who don't do a good job. We call them cowboy builders, scam artists, right? We call them cowboys. And there is a cowboy Muslim, calls himself the Muslim cowboy. I call him the cowboy Muslim. Very disrespectful, no manners, and I think he deserves a little bit of attention. So I'm going to be watching him, or should I say, observing his behavior. And does he deserve the title Dawa personality or celebrity or whatever he thinks he is, showing off about his 140,000 followers on TikTok before he got banned? He managed to get his co-host tonight banned from TikTok by saying certain keywords that TikTok doesn't allow. How can you have 140,000 followers on TikTok yet you're so naive as to the rules of TikTok that you ruined another channel? Well, there you go. That's some people's goal in life, to gain followers and become a celebrity. All right. So in the time, or for the time being, what we're going to do, let's look at the news, shall we? I better share my screen. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. So tell me if you can see this. What's the top story in the Metro? Let's have a look and see what it is. Hold on a second. There we go. So the top story in the Metro. Hold on, can you hear anything? Yes, you can. All right, top story in the Metro. Oh, they're talking about this submarine. It's being thrust in my face left and right and center, and I've just avoided reading or watching any article about it. So yeah, I'm going to avoid it again. While it may be a big story, it's also a distraction. It's a distraction for what's really going on. It's a convenient distraction. That's why it gets so much attention. I'm sure there's a lot happening in the world that deserves attention and it's not getting it. So look, how many stories do we need to have on just one subject? You've got the main one up there, 2, 3, 4. So 4 stories just on the submarine. Holly Willoughby takes helicopter to Glastonbury after Philip Schofield woes. All right, do we care? And why is she being made out to be all innocent out of, after sitting by the side of this individual for all these years and being silent about what she's been witnessing? Johnny Irwin beams in new family photos as he lives out final months. I don't know who Johnny Irwin is. Does anybody know? Why do we need to know about Johnny Irwin and his photos? Who is he? He was a place in a presenter for A Place in the Sun. The TV star has been super candid about his journey with lung cancer. Yeah, may Allah protect us from that. Do I recognize him? Let me see. Obviously, he's going to look different to what he would have done when he was presenting on the show. I don't recognize his face, though. Johnny Irwin. Well, yeah, hope he gets better. Allah guide him to Islam. Smesh Factory says, you still watching F1? I watch the news on F1, but I don't really watch it. I watch highlights that come on YouTube. Like the F1 YouTube channel, they do a highlights reel at the end of every race. I might watch some of that. But F1's pretty dead now, isn't it? But let's do F1 news. F1 news, not new. What's this? Lewis Hamilton gets good news as FIA chief fires warning to Max Verstappen. Yeah, we all know that the FIA chief is in bed with Red Bull, right? What does it say here? Lewis Hamilton gets good news. What good news? Max Verstappen extended his lead at the top of. But what's interesting is how they're screwing over Sergio Perez. Yeah, they're trying to get rid of Sergio Perez. They're doing what's called constructive dismissal of the guy. They're making sure he doesn't win any races, and then they can say he's not performing up to standard. But who do they want to replace him with? Do you think Lewis Hamilton may join Red Bull? I do think that Lewis Hamilton is going to leave Mercedes. Yeah. For some reason they think Russell is Russell. Why is Russell even on the team? But they're going to replace Lewis Hamilton with Mick Schumacher, right? That's what's happening. Okay. Now I thought Hamilton was going to join Aston Martin at the start of the season, which is why Lance Stroll didn't. Or was it Lawrence? Lance Stroll. Why he didn't race? They claimed that he had a fractured wrist. I don't think that was true. I thought he was standing down because they expected Hamilton to join them. But yeah, I may be wrong. So let's see. Yes, Mish Factory, you're right. Checo's car isn't the same as Max's, and that's the same with Russell and Hamilton. Yeah, I think they built the car with Mercedes for George Russell, not for Hamilton. For some reason, Russell is being made the #1 driver. It's crazy. Yeah, he's still behind Hamilton on the points. All right, let's see. The Dutchman is now 69 points ahead of his Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez after winning 6 of his first. Can you believe it? We're already 8 races into the year. And with more than a third of the season completed, Verstappen will fancy his chances of bagging a 3rd consecutive world title. Yeah, what's that got to do with the headline? Hamilton's F1 future is currently up in the air, as his contract with the Silver Arrows is set to expire at the end of the year. But Sky Sports commentator Martin Brundle has dismissed claims that the 38-year-old could end up at Red Bull next season. Hamilton may not have to jump ship to catch Verstappen, however, after FIA director Nicolas Tombazis warned the 2-time world champion that rival teams could catch him up if they perfect the Red Bull-style side pod design. Well, we know the issue is not the side pods, it's the rear suspension. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that stuff gets boring, so we'll move on from that. Any other F1 news? Oh yeah, Hamilton in love triangle with Shakira. What? What kind of a story is this? Uh, you should start watching F1 again. It's gotten very good with Mercedes versus F1 versus Aston Martin. Well, Max is long gone, and yeah, I suppose it's somewhat interesting seeing Alonso and Hamilton, but they didn't really scrap. Alonso just overtook him. That was it. It wasn't a battle. All right, let's see what it says. Lewis Hamilton. This is more interesting, right? Lewis Hamilton in love triangle with Shakira and Hollywood star as dating life heats up. Okay, she's some old woman now, right? Why are they into this old woman? Lewis Hamilton has reportedly found himself in a love triangle with singer Shakira and Hollywood actor Tom Cruise. What? Reports have been rife that the Mercedes driver is dating the pop star, with the pair recently being spotted together enjoying dinner after the Spanish Grand Prix. The Formula One superstar has also been spotted partying with Shakira, who split from ex-Barcelona defender Gerard Piqué last year, alongside Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, before whisking her and her friends away on a boat trip, much to the disappointment of Cruise. Okay, the Hips Don't Lie singer was previously spotted with the film star earlier this year after they met at the Miami Grand Prix, and the Top Gun actor has reportedly not taken the news of Shakira's advances with Hamilton well. Oh dear. Cruz has had his ego dented by the pair being spotted together. So she's old and he's old, right? Even Hamilton's not young. Oh dear. Like, look at that chin. That's a very muscular chin, bro. Look at that. That is a mate. Do you think she could really be a man? Like, think about it, right? Is that actually a woman, or is it a trans person? The jaw is very masculine. You have to admit. Look at that chin. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Who's Rebecca Vardy? I don't know who she is. Shakira had reportedly begged Cruz to stop pursuing a romantic relationship with her and urged the film star to stop flirting with her, leaving the actor stunned that she'd been seen with his buddy Hamilton recently. Okay, that's what Tom Cruise looks like, is it? He's fighting aging, isn't he? Doesn't want to get old. Okay. Yeah, that's enough for F1 for today. What else is going on in the Metro? Let's get back to the Metro. Arctic Monkeys fans fume as BBC live stream of Glastonbury headline set starts late. No one cares about Glastonbury. Foo Fighters. Love Island star dumped from villa in huge upset due to bombshell. Okay. What? Love Island star dumped from villa in huge upset due to bombshell Katie McDermott. All right. We're not sending our kids to school. They shouldn't do anything they don't want to do. All right. Bride is married and widowed in a 10-minute span after groom dies of blood clots. Oh. Infertile celebrates pregnancy after grinder one night. What? Trans man who thought he was infertile celebrates. So it's not a man then if he's pregnant. It's a woman. Yeah, okay. What's wrong with these people? Okay. Joe Biden to sign executive order expanding contraception access. Yeah. You see, the problem with society is that women, right? And you'll see this if you go to like a regular state school, most of the girls, by the time they leave, once they're at college age, some of them will go college, some of them will just disappear. They won't go to work. They won't go to college. They won't go to university. They end up getting pregnant, and they'll stay at home or they'll get on the housing list. That's what happens. Girls are getting even during school age they're leaving due to pregnancy. That means they become a burden on the state because the young boys who they're impregnating them are not supporting them financially. They don't have the means. So what they want is to keep women from becoming pregnant. So they're going to issue contraception to keep them in a situation where they can become financially beneficial to the economy. Why not just let men do the bring in the income? Donald Trump puts up $5,550,000 deposit for sex abuse accuser while appealing verdict. Okay. I'm not really interested in that. Glastonbury revelers so they keep telling us about Glastonbury. Don't care about Glastonbury. NASA astronaut reveals the disgusting thing you must do before flying to space. Yeah, Smash Factory. I know Lewis is producing an F1 movie with Brad Pitt. Yeah. Well, they've been saying that for a while. Let's see if it actually comes out. Do you think, like Hamilton's been pushing the BLM and the diversity stuff in F1? Do you think he'll follow through and have any black actors in his movie? Or will it just be another whitewash? Like, he's pushing the BLM stuff, yet his personal trainer was white and all of his management staff are white. Very hypocritical. Yeah. You remember several pregnant people during GCSE exams? Yeah. NASA astronaut reveals the disgusting thing you must do before flying to space. All right, good for him. Gunman who shot dead sergeant while in police custody found guilty of murder. Well, obviously. That must be the United States. I doubt that's in the UK. Let me just check. Where is that? Oh, New Zealand-born officer. Was it in the UK? Oh, wow. So the gunman who shot Met Police Sergeant Matt Ratana while handcuffed in a custody suite with an antique revolver he'd hidden under his armpit has been found guilty of murder. Louis de Zuiza, 25, claimed diminished responsibility, but jurors at Northampton Crown Court rejected his account that he pulled the trigger accidentally during an autistic meltdown. They were shown distressing video footage of Sergeant Ratana, then just 2 months from retirement, being hit in the chest by the first of 3 shots fired from the legally bought firearm. Legally bought firearm? Oh, because it was an antique, yeah. The New Zealand-born officer died of his injuries in hospital. Despite the efforts of medical staff, he was the first cop ever killed inside a police station in the UK. A second bullet struck the fifth. That's a bit strange that they arrested the guy, put him in custody, and they didn't even search him beforehand. Normally, they search you on the street, like in front of the world. Mm. So Smash Factory says, yes, he does have a black actor. Lewis is suffering from an identity crisis, just like Zayn Malik, hence being heavily tattooed and trying to be hood, but not quite, etc. Let's see. A second bullet struck the 54-year-old in the thigh before de Souza was wrestled to the ground by other officers as a third round hit the cell wall at Croydon's windmill. Oh, Croydon, was it? Wow. De Souza, who was living in Banstead, Surrey, discharged a fourth shot while on the cell floor 16 seconds later, hitting an artery in his own neck and causing brain damage. Wow. Subhanallah. What? Do you believe that he shot himself, like while he was on the floor? Yeah, or maybe they shot him on purpose. They saw their colleague got shot, and you have to see the footage. I doubt they're gonna play the. Whoa! So it looks like he did actually shoot himself. That's the bit that they showed. They didn't show him. So they didn't show him shooting the police officer, but they did show him shooting himself. Yeah, so they did that deliberately. They wanted to protect themselves from liability. Still sad. But you could see there was something wrong with the guy, or you could hear it. Probably, what's that stuff? Fentanyl or some type of crazy drugs. A man left with blisters the size of golf balls after touching giant hogweed. Wow. England call up spinner who Shane Warne said was destined for Test cricket at 13. Nice haircut, mate. Nice haircut. Body of missing 18-year-old found burning in remote bonfire pit. What? Oh dear. That sounds like some sort of sacrifice. The body of Parker League was found. Is that his name? Parker League. Found burned in a bonfire pit in Arizona. The body of a missing teenager from Nebraska was found in a bonfire pit in the Arizona desert, authorities said. On Monday, June the 12th, a body was found in a remote area in Bulldog Canyon, just northeast of Apache Junction, Arizona. The body was found smoldering in a makeshift fire pit used for bonfires. On Thursday, investigators identified the body as belonging to Parker League. An 18-year-old recent high school graduate from Nebraska was reported missing. So he was visiting his father who lives in Arizona when he disappeared. Yeah, subhanallah. Hmm. Now, what else do we have here? Yeah, that's the same story. So submarine and Glastonbury. Occupy your mind with that, with those two stories. Coronation Street. Like, if you're gonna watch a soap opera, at least watch EastEnders. Who watches Coronation Street? Small plane crashes onto middle school sports field. Well, that doesn't look like the UK. Where's that? Mississippi. Okay. So that looks like a 4-seat aeroplane. Oh, it's a twin engine. Yeah. Piper Apache. Did anyone survive? Does it even say? No injuries were reported. Okay, that's good. Captain Lemaire walked away from the crash unscathed. Well, the door opened fine. Well, that's good that they walked away safe and well. All right, so that's enough of the Metro. It was pretty rubbish today. Let's see what the Daily Mail has got. Coup fears as Wagner army marches on Moscow to target. Yeah, that's propaganda. Don't believe that stuff. Fake news. You know, they want you to believe that Putin is about to be taken down by his own people and all that stuff. No, don't believe it. Stop saying I'm going to kill someone. I find it personally insulting. Rage of Titan. Okay, not interested in that story. Andrew Neil, still alive, is he? Brexit could still transform Britain, but neither Rishi Sunak. By the way, what do you guys think of Piers Morgan? I think his new YouTube show is really entertaining. I think he's doing a good job on there. Give him his props. Who's to blame for woke kids insisting on being addressed as cats and dogs? I don't believe that. Axeman, who attacked colleagues at London hospital and stabbed one of them in the neck before turning weapon on himself during rampage, appears in court. How do you turn an axe on yourself, by the way? Like, how would you do that? Let's see. Axeman who attacked colleagues. Matteo Bottarelli, 42, is alleged to have chased colleagues with a large pickaxe. He today appeared in court charged with 3 counts of attempted murder. Okay. Bottarelli is alleged to have chased colleagues with a mattock, a large pickaxe, around the grounds of Central Middlesex Hospital in northwest London. The maintenance man is accused of stabbing one of his colleagues in the neck from behind and inflicting multiple head injuries on another. Whoa, he actually struck them, did he? So he stabbed someone in the neck and inflicting multiple head injuries on another. Allah protect us. Bottarelli was subsequently arrested by armed police outside the hospital where he was found to have non-life-threatening injuries thought to have been self-inflicted. So he's been charged, not yet convicted. He was subsequently remanded in custody when he will appear at the old. Right. So, for those of you who don't know, in the UK we've got if you commit crimes, you will appear at magistrates' court. But if the crimes are, um, what do you call it, significant, then you would go to what's called a Crown Court. The major cases go to the like the biggest Crown Court, and that's called the Old Bailey in London. Okay, so that's for criminal cases, criminal law. All right. What? Another of Bottarelli's colleagues escaped the violent rampage with only minor injuries. The third victim did not sustain any injuries during the incident, which is not being treated as terror related. So why would it be terror related? Was the guy Muslim? You know, that's the only time they call these cases terror attacks. Well, I suppose now they've labeled white supremacists as terrorists, so that's a possibility. Okay. Any other stories? Oh, I don't know if you saw that thing about a BBC presenter losing his job or being suspended, one of the two. It's YouTube anyway. What's on YouTube? Okay. So is this what YouTube feeds you? Oh, Ryan Giggs' brother is getting interviewed about the affair. What T word, bird nest? You talking about the Tate word? Have you noticed that Muslims are like flip-flopping when it comes to Tate? Some of these Dawa people, they started off hating him, and then they jumped on the bandwagon, and now some of them are leaving him again. Make your minds up. Let's see if our friend the cowboy is still live. Cowboy Muslim. Yeah, he is. Not sure I'm over 18 now. So this person who's speaking on his stream, right? I couldn't tell if the voice is that of a female or a young boy, right? Or a teenager. You tell me. They identify as a female, but they could just as well be a young man. Yeah. So another Dawa cult person, Bible basher. Yeah. This is what people call Dawa, but they call smashing the Bible to them is Dawa. They call people they memorize verses of the Bible, chapters and verses. Acts 180. Like, how would you know that if you're a Muslim? Why should you even know that? All they love to do is, attack Christianity and attack the Bible. I can't listen to it. It's just too much for me. All right, let's go. So why is a woman debating a man on Christianity? Like, clearly English is not her first language, yet she's trying to educate the Englishman on the use of English.
Isaac and Jacob, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Did Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob know the name of God, the proper name of God?
They do, yeah, they do. They do. Obviously, God the Father, the God of, because when he comes to Abraham, the God of Abraham, and then
okay, did they know the name Yahweh?
Yahweh, it doesn't actually say that.
Actually, it tells you specifically. It tells you in Exodus 6:3 that they did not know the name. Let me pull you the verse up, okay? So if you want, you can pull up your Bible as well, so they can read.
There's the problem with these
pull it up on my screen.
Zakir Naik
So it says in Exodus 6,
cult
and I
followers.
appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and to
Their job is to just memorize verses of the Bible.
Jacob by the name of God Almighty, which in the Hebrew is El Shaddai, but by my name Yahweh, I was not known to them. Right?
Yeah.
So the name Yahweh, they did not know it, correct?
Yeah, 1 second.
It's on screen too if you want to find it.
Instead of just quoting them verses from the Quran, maybe Allah will guide him. Instead, you're just reading him the Bible.
I just want to say to everybody, Jazakallah khair to everyone. We have beat my stream record for concurrent viewers, mashallah, we hit like almost 140, and we've consistently been over 100 for like the past 50 minutes. So Jazakallah khair, everybody. And it looks like you're doing awesome, sister. Keep it up.
Alhamdulillah. I've been silent for quite some time, but khair inshallah.
No, it's you're bringing the light, sister, bringing the nur. Alhamdulillah.
Barakallah feek, jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
Inshallah, get you on some more in the future.
Inshallah khair. Do you have the verse pulled up, Ant?
Maybe we can listen to something beneficial.
Did you read it, or you want me to read to continue with my?
I was waiting for you to go through it.
Okay. So.
Okay, I put it on the screen for you if you wanted, but yeah, go ahead.
Right, I appeared unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob by the name El Shaddai.
Did you know
by my
you
name
can earn
Yahweh,
£1 million a year per person, completely legally, using a government
Well, Josh Gates, the host of Expedition Unknown, joins me now. Josh, thank you very much indeed for joining me. You actually walked away from an opportunity to film the Titanic down where it lurks in the ocean. Why was that?
Well, we were thinking about doing a special on Titanic and to work alongside Stockton and Ocean Gate, and we went up.
Yeah, not interested.
Well, I'm joined now. Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Well, Marianne Williamson is a best-selling author, a celebrity spiritualist, a confidant of Oprah Winfrey, and she has her way. She'll also be America's first female president, with many Democrats warning that Joe Biden is simply too old to run again. She wants to outflank him from the left, the more youthful left, you might think, and harness love to defeat Donald Trump. And I'm delighted to say you're here in London and in my studio. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I want to play you a clip. This is President Biden last week ending a speech about gun violence by completely randomly saying this.
It's the least consequential part of this whole meeting for you. I promise. All right. God save the Queen, man.
Okay, well, two things.
God save the Queen. What? Isn't she dead? Like, what? What is the guy doing, man?
The Queen died 10 months.
It's quite clear the President of the United States does not run the United States. The question we should be asking is, who does? Right? We've heard for a long time there's something called a shadow government. Why aren't they asking who this shadow government is? Like Piers Morgan, why aren't you asking these real tough questions?
Months ago.
She's not our queen.
Our monarch, yes, not your queen, and our queen died 10 months ago. This is the latest thing involving President Biden, where he just said stuff which makes no sense. Actually, it's pretty inappropriate, to some people quite offensive. He seems to have forgotten our queen died last year. And it goes to his mental capability. It's a big issue. I mean, it can't be ignored, I don't think. How do you feel about this?
I think it's for the individual voter to decide. It gets personal, and I don't want to be personal about this. I'm running against the president on issues.
It's not personal. How is it personal? It's to do with how he functions in his job. That's not personal. It's professional.
There are many people in his camp who would argue, yes, he makes gaffes like this, but when it comes to his decision making on issues, he's just fine. Every individual has to decide on that, and I think it's kind of cheap for me to go there.
I mean, it happens a lot.
She must be a Democrat. Right? She doesn't want to go against her party. So she's, given a safe answer.
It happens a lot. Obviously, I wouldn't be running if I didn't think I'd make a better president.
Right. I want to talk about a couple of issues with you, which are in the news, which you have quite strong views about. One, I want to play you a clip. This is the British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, who was heard on a leaked video talking about the big trans debate at the moment.
You may have noticed Ed Davey has been very busy. Like me, you were probably seeing that he was busy trying to convince everybody that women clearly had penises. And I was reflecting, you all know, I'm a big fan of everybody studying maths to 18. But it turns out that we need to focus on biology to 18.
That was a pretty good joke, I have to admit. Well, and I say a good joke, it was an intelligent joke. What you'd call a dad joke. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, the Prime Minister's a smart guy, you don't take him lightly.
Hey mums, stop taking your kids' tablets off them as a consequence. In this video,
So this has become a big thing, right? Along with the question, what is a woman? There's now a big debate where British political leaders have been asked about whether a woman can have a penis, and they've given varying answers. The British Prime Minister says no. The Labour leader says 99% of women do not. And the Liberal Democrat leader, who he was referencing there, says clearly women can have penises. On the face of it, this might seem a strange debate to be having, but what are the answers? I mean, you're a presidential candidate.
Well, in the United States, I think we are obviously going through a cultural transformation. People are getting more comfortable with the notion of gender fluidity, non-binary sexuality. For me, it's an issue of freedom.
By the way, imagine you were in her position. How would you answer this question? It's not easy. She's on the hot spot.
Strange debate to be having. But what are the answers? I mean, you're a presidential candidate.
Well, in the United States, I think we are obviously going through a cultural transformation. People are getting more comfortable with the notion of gender fluidity.
Okay, so far, she's answered it correctly. She's stating facts, right? We're going through a cultural transformation, and she's also mentioned in the United States. So she's not speaking for the rest of the world. And she's stating that people, or certain people, what she should say is a segment of society, is getting comfortable with gender fluidity. Oh dear. Yeah, or you could say that's true. Some group of people within society are comfortable with gender fluidity.
Non-binary sexuality. For me, it's an issue of freedom. People get to be whoever they want to be, do whatever they want to do if it doesn't hurt anyone else.
So freedom is your calling card that makes everyone relax. Say, yeah, she's talking about freedom. I support freedom too. But what she means by freedom is what?
They do whatever they want to do if it doesn't hurt anyone else. To me,
So do what you want to do, just don't hurt other people. However, this gender stuff is hurting other people.
we have to follow a North Star in our society. That North Star is the idea that all people are created equal. If you talk to me about a trans American, the part that matters to me is the word American. And so.
But what is a woman to you?
Listen, it's whatever at this point in somebody's culture, in American culture, certainly kind of whatever anyone says that it is.
Yeah, but it can't
I know
be.
I
It
was.
can't be though.
Yes,
So
it absolutely can. If people.
Exactly. So Piers Morgan actually challenging this nonsense now.
Say until it hurts people, but if anyone can put their hand up and say they're a woman, we have a situation we had recently where the leader of the Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon of the Scottish National Party, she had to resign after putting a biological male rapist into a women's prison. So there is obviously damage there from self-identity, isn't it?
Well, certainly, yeah, but I think the issue there was rapists, not the issue of the sexual.
What is the fact? She felt that this male rapist, who identified as a woman at his trial,
yeah, that would be hard,
right? Simply to get into a women's prison. Yeah. That's wrong, right?
Because, well, yes, but then that's once you're talking about something like rape, then obviously it becomes relevant. It's not relevant.
What about sport?
Well, on sports, I do think we need to protect girls who were born as girls. If they are in a situation where somebody, obviously because of the size of their muscles and of their body, gives them an.
But that's all biological males.
Well, yes, that's sort of my point.
So you would stop. Well, hang on, just to clarify that, you would stop biological.
So he got her there. That's a clear double standard now, right?
Males competing against biological females.
Unless it can be proven, there are some situations where somebody, let's say they were born as a man, but they're a small man, right? And it can be proven through hormone testing, through muscle testing, and so forth, that there is no biological advantage. But you know, the other day I spoke at Cambridge University, and I noticed when I went into the area where the bathrooms were, that it said, use whatever bathroom you're more comfortable with. And I thought, oh my God, it could be that easy. So I think everybody needs to lighten up on this issue.
Because, well, it's fine, except it's hard to lighten up if you are, say, a female Olympic athlete and you're losing out on your place.
Well, that's
because a biological male who's 6'3" and built like an outhouse decides to take your slot.
Good point, Piers.
By saying, hey, I'm a woman, which goes back to your initial thing that you should all be what you want to be. Well, sure, I want to be.
Hey, alaikum salam, Jordan. How you doing, brother? Good to see you live earlier.
You know, I want to be a movie star, but I'm not. There's a reality check.
But if you're talking about specific instances, such as sports, such as where somebody goes in prison, et cetera, then obviously these become issues that have to be deciding points. But there is another world out there, which it's not hurting anybody. It just has to do with somebody's desire to identify a certain way.
So her whole key issue here is do what you like, just don't hurt other people. As long as you're not hurting others, you can do whatever you want. So what about teaching kids in school, you know, this drag queen stuff? Is that hurting anyone? How do you define hurt? Is her definition of hurt physical, you know, contact?
Area where we need to culturally open our minds to the idea of fluidity in gender and so forth, and both can be true at the same time.
Well, I'm not sure it can, because I don't think you can have limitless self-identity without it infringing particularly on women's rights to equality and fairness. That's the problem with it. And that's why it sounds great to say, of course you can, but then you end up with that ridiculous woman, Rachel Dolezal, who decided to identify as black.
Okay, so now he's attacking Rachel Dozier. You remember that lady, right? Are they the same thing? He's happy to call her ridiculous, but he won't describe trans people in that way with the, you know, complete disregard.
Woman Rachel Dolezal, who decided to identify as black. Well, if you have limits, it sounds great to say, of course you can, but then you end up with that ridiculous woman Rachel Dolezal.
That ridiculous woman.
Who decided to identify as black. Well, if you have limitless self-identity, why can't you?
You know,
I'm interested to know if these are equal. This is an equal comparison. Identifying as black may be. It may be the case that, you know, she identifies with cultural aspects that are represented as black culture. So black music, or what people commonly consider to be black music, although that can be disputed as well, because, for example, Louis Farrakhan, he's a concert violinist, But so does that mean the violin and concertos, etc., are black music or black culture? Well, let's put that to the side. she was connecting with aspects of what she believes to be black culture, and she wanted to be part of it. So she identified herself as being black, even trying to look like black people with their hairstyle. And again, what is a black person? How do you define that? But can you say that's the same argument as someone who identifies as being a different gender? Like a person who's a male might like aspects of female culture, I suppose, their dress, their high heels, their lipstick, etc. Maybe it's a reasonable comparison in some senses, but in other senses, it's, I suppose, biologically you cannot be a different gender, and biologically you can't be a different pigment complexion. So yeah, not too much of a distant comparison. Yet he would not describe a trans person with the way he with the tone of disregard that he used to describe the lady.
I think that somehow we have to find that balance in ourselves as well as our society.
How, as a lawmaker who wants to be the first female president of the United States, what's the balance? Because you either allow it or you don't.
No, I disagree with you. As president, I think my responsibility is to the notion of all people created equal. I, as president, quite the opposite of what you just said. As president, hey, I want the whole notion of my presidency would be, please be who you want to be, do what you want to do, spread your wings and soar. If you get to the point where you're infringing on the rights of other people, you're going to have a hard time.
How would
with
you
me.
feel if a man decided to, a male politician decided to suddenly identify as female and became the first woman president of the United States?
I'd be like, damn, but that wouldn't mean...
You wouldn't just be damned, you'd be like, what?
I don't think...
You'd be horrified.
But that doesn't mean I think it would be illegal or that it's...
I didn't say it'd be illegal.
Bro, I don't know if you lot have been seeing the stuff on YouTube about President Obama's wife. They're saying that she's really a man. Like, let's see if I can find anything. It's like a big thing on YouTube. Every day I'm seeing stuff about it. Obama, what's her name? Michelle Obama, right? Obama, man. Yeah. Let's see.
Indulgent Escapes by Jet2 Holidays.
From a black girl from the south side of Chicago to the first black first lady in the White House.
Oh, no.
Michelle
That's not it then. Let's see if I can find a different. That's not it either. Okay, I'm gonna put Obama gender instead.
Alex Jones was recently commenting on something that Joan Rivers said about Michelle Obama. And of course, it was something that was a little controversial. I'll let you judge for yourself. Take a look at it.
Do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all.
Whoa! Oh dear.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
She said it funny. She said it funny.
You know, it's funny. The first time I saw it, I didn't think it was funny. But like the way we just edited it today, we cut off the end and the beginning. Oh. And like it's much better. Like it's actually pretty fun. We all know it.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's crazy Aunt Joan. She can say whatever she wants.
She's a comedian.
Yes.
Boy, I wish she would take off that comedian mask and let us know. The real Joan.
All right, so Joan Rivers does that. It was obviously meant to be a joke, right? And I can understand why some people would still be offended by it, but still, I think as long as it's a joke and as long as you are a comedian, which is what she does for a living,
yes,
move on with your life. Well, Alex Jones took it seriously. And here's what he had to say on his own show about Michelle Obama.
The question is, who is Michelle Obama? Is she really a woman? Is she a man? Every time I look at Michelle or Michael Obama, the first lady or the first tranny, every time I look at them, something doesn't look right. She doesn't look like any black woman or any woman I've ever known. She's got shoulders that are wider than a man's, which physiologically doesn't happen. Again, you can put 3 heads on a man's shoulders and only 2 heads on a woman's shoulders. That's a known anatomy. And then women generally have wider hips and than men do. And you look at her arms and the rest of it, when she's standing straight on, she looks like no woman I have ever seen.
He nailed it.
Wow.
He nailed it.
May I make a suggestion before we start?
How many heads can you put on his stomach?
Morning radio, syndicated across the country, waking up with Adlo and Jones. Wouldn't you love to see them together?
Totally.
It'd be great.
Well, if Joan Rivers married him, she'd be Joan Rivers Jones, which would be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that wasn't a funny joke. Sorry. Let's get back to Piers.
Well, joining me now is the author and commentator Angelica Mallet, Talk TV's Esther Krakow, and Fox News contributor Tommy Laren. So, Tommy Laren, let me start with you. Two people in Britain today who've been at the forefront of not saying what a woman is. One is Nicola Sturgeon, the ex-First Minister of Scotland, who lost her job because of this ridiculous farce of a rapist self-identifying. She tweeted today, proud on International Women's Day to visit my old University of Glasgow, and banged on about women's rights. This is the woman who just literally lost her job for allowing a male rapist into a female prison. And Sir Keir Starmer, who's leader of the opposition Labour Party here, was talking about protections for women in Parliament today, and yet he refuses to say what a woman is. Where are we with this? How has it come that leaders of parties in countries like the UK, and you see a lot of it in America as well, just won't say what a woman is?
Well, first of all, I have to apologize to you because all of this wokeness originates here in the United States of America, and then we export it to you in the UK.
Yes, you're to blame.
So we started this really in America. Yes, we are. You know, the wokeness starts here, and then it, of course, moves over, and now you guys have to deal with it. The world has to deal with it. But I say this, I'm proud to celebrate International Women's Day because I know what a woman is. So I would say, if you don't know what a woman is, you don't get to celebrate it. You don't get to pretend to be a feminist when it's helpful to you or helpful to your political narrative. You have to be able to define what a woman is. This is all a farce. They are seeking to erase women, and this is the radical rainbow mafia, as I call it. This is
Oh, by the way, Jordan M, if you're still there, bro, we need you more active in the dawah, right? Look, without sensible people like yourself, we end up with cowboys running the scene. Okay, we don't need cowboys. We need like real, good, true dawah people. Come back, Jordan.
not your average LGBT activist. This is the rainbow mafia section of that radical LGBTQ movement that has made women less than, and then has elevated all of this transgenderism and all of this pick your gender, identify as potato. They have hijacked the women's rights movement, the feminist movement, and actual feminists should be really pissed off about it.
Well, as a feminist, I am. I recently interviewed Angelica, the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, and I asked him this question, which seems to stump many other leaders. Here's the clip.
So
Rishi
the
Sunak.
moment the camera came on her, she gulped. She realized, uh-oh, I'm on international, well, not TV, but on YouTube, right? I'm about to be, the spotlight is on her. Let's see, watch her gulp.
And I asked him.
There, you see that throat movement? One more time.
Feminist, I am. I recently interviewed Angelica, the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, and I asked him this question, which seems to stump many other leaders. Here's the clip. What is a woman?
Discover the summer collection now on mrmarvis.co.uk.
Yeah.
Here's Jack in his natural work habitat before Nordpass.
We know that Nicola Sturgeon can't answer that. We know Keir Starmer can't answer that. You're the British Prime Minister. What is a woman?
What is wrong with his eyes? Is he cross-eyed? The left eye is looking at something, the right eye is looking at something else. I'd never noticed that. That is weird.
Yeah, of course I know what a woman is. Adult human female.
It's not difficult, is it, Angelica? I mean, that is what a...
Do you think he's trying to mirror or impersonate Tony Blair? Very similar style of talking. Look, look, look.
Yeah, of course I know what a woman is. Adult human female.
That is Tony Blair-esque. This guy, you know, he's a Tony Blair wannabe.
We know that Nicola Sturgeon can't answer that. We know Keir Starmer can't answer that. You're the British Prime Minister. What is a woman?
Yeah, of course I know what a woman is. Adult human female.
It's not difficult, is it, Angelica? I mean, that is what a woman is.
I mean, I don't know why you're obsessed with defining it. Like, what is a man? Like, why do we need these arbitrary...
A man is a male adult human. I mean, that's it.
Right. Okay. I don't know that we need
these are just biological facts, but they're just facts. They're not arguable points, are they?
But I think we have a right to self-identify. And you said
As
you
what?
want to.
As what?
If you'd like to be a woman, you can identify as a woman. I don't know why there.
Like, I don't know. I'm lost for words. There's no sense in what she's saying. You have a right to identify as a woman.
There's such an issue around.
We've literally just seen a male rapist use that scam to get himself put into a female prison where he could attack vulnerable women inside a female prison. when even his ex-wife said it was all a scam.
Which is a terrible, very distressing, isolated incident. And I think it's easy to take that and say that means that no one can identify as a woman.
But
And
it's not an
that's
isolated
fair.
incident, though.
But it's
42% of trans-identifying prisoners in prison are in there for sex crimes. There's actually an advantage, evidently, to identifying as a female because they never identify as male because somehow male prisons seem less appealing to them. It's really
Yeah, that's a good point. I left YouTube as I thought reactionary wanted less Dawa Muslims online. I'm confused. Yeah, well, Jordan, you've left a what do you call it? A hole or bubble? No, not a hole. A vacuum. You've left a vacuum. Now we've got Cowboys running the Dawa scene, bro. Like, it's a mess, a complete mess.
really weird. Anyway, but
Is it limitless, this self-identity?
It's not totally limitless.
What's the
So
limit?
when you're talking about International Women's Day, I don't know why we take the conversation around International Women's Day and make it about this.
But if
because
anyone,
there's so many benefits.
but if
to having
anyone,
a
according
day.
to you, can identify as a woman, anyone can, right?
I don't see a problem with
To literally put their hand up and say, I'm a woman.
But it's not an easy thing to do, to go out into
Actually,
the world.
it's very easy.
It's
Very
right.
easy.
You might think it's easy to say, but to decide to do that, to say
What
this
does
is
doing
who-
it involve?
Whatever that person decides, but to
Does
go
it
out
wearing
into the
makeup?
world and say, I don't identify as perhaps the sex I
So
was
why
born
can't
as.
I
It's not-
identify? Okay, why can't I identify as a black lesbian?
Well, firstly, I mean, it was.
I'm serious. I'm serious. If I can identify as anything
Mhm.
without any need to prove I'm actually what that is,
I
why can't I on International Women's Day say I'm Piers Morgan, I'm a black lesbian?
I think taking it to a kind of absurd
No, no.
status,
I think,
where
I think
we're
that's
talking
what.
about quite a
with
strong
respect, I
physical
think that
thing.
you'd already opened the absurdity door by saying it is limitless. You can do what you like. Anyone can say I'm a woman. So I simply ask you, why can't I?
I mean, this point kind of ridiculed.
Jordan, sorry, not Jordan. Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan's getting pretty good, you know. I have to rate him. But I probably meant Jordan as well. Jordan's channel's getting pretty good as well these days. So they're both doing pretty well.
Trans people to an extent.
Actually, I think what you said ridicules trans people because actually people who go through the full process of transition, who actually go through what we used to call a sex change, which I don't think you can muck around with original biology, but those who actually go through surgical procedure over a number of years, I've got great respect for that very difficult journey they go on. I have zero respect for people who just wallop their hand up and go, suddenly, I'm a woman and I want all the rights that a woman has.
By the way, is this a woman or is this a transgender? Like, I think that's actually a biological woman. I don't think that's a transgender. But why is she, the defender of this topic?
And I want to compete, say, in sport. I'm a 6'4" athlete, sprinter, swimmer, whatever, who's competed very mediocrely in male sport. I now want to come in and crush women in swimming pools and in sprinting events and break all their records, perhaps irrevocably, just by saying, I'm a woman. I think that is the absurdity you were talking about. My response was to say, well, if it's limitless, why can't I then say whatever I want to say? And you say immediately, as I knew you would, well, that's ridiculous. But my point is, you were being ridiculous.
Well, that's your opinion. You can think I'm ridiculous, but I don't think you can say, well, it has.
I don't know why I am, but you're not.
I don't think you have to say it's post-op is the only way that someone's allowed to identify.
Well, the original standard for
us to
the original
decide.
standard for being transgender was being diagnosed with gender dysphoria, which is a legitimate condition. And now it's being, however way you feel. So if you feel on Tuesday you're a woman and on Thursday you're a pizza,
That's
that's
true.
perfectly valid. But to you that's ridiculous, and I want to know why that is ridiculous. We should be talking about actual women on International Women's Day. That's not crazy.
I mean, I agree. I think, but your idea of an actual woman,
The chromosomes.
It's an adult female. It's not
The
difficult.
chromosomes are a pretty good indication.
I don't think you have to be biologically female to identify.
Then
as a
you are
woman.
wrong, because then I can identify as a fox.
Yeah.
But again, it's a kind of absurd point.
How many? Well, let me ask
Why
you
is
this.
that
Let me ask you
absurd?
this, Angelica. How many genders are there?
2.
There are 2 genders.
Oh.
Wow. So you don't believe in transgenders at all?
Well, I think there are.
Whoa, hang on. Whoa. There are 2 genders.
Well, it's taught.
Well, why do you say well? You've literally just launched this huge defense of
Yeah.
transgenderism. Now you've eradicated it.
I think
If there are 2 genders, you mean male and female, right?
there's gender fluidity. I will.
Fluid between what?
Between what?
Between different identities, and we can choose different
You
identities.
see how difficult this is, though?
But it is difficult. But I think making.
But it's not.
See, she doesn't understand the topic. Like, there's that thing called cisgender. It's a range of genders that they claim. There's over 200 different gender types. She hasn't even studied this topic. Why did they bring her on as a guest to discuss this topic when it's not her expertise?
Not difficult until you make it difficult. You see, the BBC has done teaching videos to 11 and 12-year-olds where they say there are 100 genders. One of them was astrogender, which is an affinity with the stars and the galaxy. My response to that on the last show I did was to say, well, in that case, I identify as a 2-spirit penguin. I was then told I was being ridiculous.
You notice that the same thing I mentioned is what he just mentioned there. Well, although I said over 200, he said over 100. Wow, that's we think alike, Piers.
But I made the same point. The ridiculousness is the BBC teaching kids there are 100 genders. There aren't. It is absurd. Bring back Tommy Lehran, who I imagine is hyperventilating over there in America. Tommy, I mean, look, I don't
All right, gender affirming care, make them confused
she's
as to what
boring.
they are.
think straight about what they wanted to be. And that was, to me, as a father of four,
that male.
Fortunately, it backfired. But
This is Piers' token black friend.
Was allowed to go into a female prison in Scotland. There's a genuine danger around allowing men into women's spaces, like women's shelters and like that, and they can be there just by identifying as a woman and then identifying as a tree the next day.
Right, so
It's
Angelica,
genuinely
do you understand that part of the argument?
I understand that kind of the argument, but I mean, like Tommy said, I don't think this is confusing for children. I think it's giving you free.
Hey mums, are you always arguing with your partner about how to get the kids off their devices? In this video, I'm going to show you.
The new bombshell poll published today shows that nearly half of the king's realms would vote to become republics if they had the chance. Caribbean countries cite colonial ties as a reason for wanting to part with the monarchy. And pretty disturbingly for King Charles, 10 of the 14 countries polled say they back the Sussexes, saying Meghan's treatment exposes racist views.
Do you see that? There's a hijab.
Meghan's treatment exposes racist views. Racist views.
Anyhow.
It's ignited debate about whether King Charles should apologise for Britain's past sins, maybe even pay reparations. Would that make any difference? Or would it just fuel the fire of republicanism? Well, here with me now to debate this, the former royal butler to Princess Diana, Paul Burrell, the activist and organiser of Black Lives Matter protests, Iman Ayton, and the historian and royal author, Dr. Tessa Dunlop. Well, this will be a quiet debate, won't it? Well, you brought your earplugs, Paul.
I won't get a look in.
Paul, let me start with you. I've got a problem with this constant looking back in history, feeling guilty for stuff that none of us in this era actually did, and then.
So for those who don't know, this is Paul Burrell. He was the butler of Princess Diana. And Prince Harry can't stand him.
And having to say sorry for everything that we didn't do, and even now, apparently having to pay people today for stuff that happened to their ancestors many generations before. I don't really get what that achieves.
We should learn from lessons of the past. We can't change anything, and we should move forward. But
of the past. Is he a northerner? Working with royalty. That's interesting.
But the Queen's greatest achievement, his mother's greatest achievement, was the Commonwealth of Countries. She was very proud of that. I think if she could beam her down now, she would say, my Commonwealth. That should survive intact into the King's reign. So he should do whatever he can. Now, bear in mind, I've known this man for a very long time.
Yep.
He has a voice. And he will say what he feels.
Here's the real problem he's got. There's another voice yapping away about racism. Two voices. His son, Harry, and Harry's wife, Meghan, who for 3 years have branded the royal family a bunch of callous racists. That is now turning up in these polls because, understandably, frankly, black people in the Commonwealth around the world are going, whoa, really? They're racist, these people? And yet they haven't produced a shred of evidence for any of it.
You and I know the royal family are not racist. And you and I know that they pressed the racist button on the Oprah Winfrey show.
Yeah.
And they never apologized to the Queen.
Never.
She went to her grave thinking there was a racist in the royal family.
And after she died, they said,
what happened?
We never
didn't say that. The press said that.
Need to say it was racism?
Why didn't you correct it, Harry? Why didn't you tell your?
Well, we know why, because it made them. They weaponized racism and mental health to make themselves extremely rich.
I totally.
All right, come on. This is my problem. This has always been my problem with this racism narrative that these two have spun without any evidence. Is that people around the world, particularly people of color, they believe it. And why wouldn't they believe it? They're hearing the first person who wasn't a white royal bride say they're racist. These people. So then the damage is palpable, it's tangible, and it will lead, I think, if we're not careful, to a load of these countries becoming republics and the beginning of the end of the monarchy.
Thank you for your soliloquy.
No, thank you.
All right, no problem. So first and foremost, my feelings on the royal family and racism are not predicated on Harry and Meghan's willingness to identify. That's the difference between me and you. We are talking about a country that was built off of racism, and we are referring to the oldest institution in this country that started it all. So that's the first thing. In terms of why black people and many others feel the way that we do, well,
There's nothing
the monarchy is a symbol of white supremacy. Okay, white supremacy. That is the reason.
Why does it make any difference if King Charles says sorry, or why does it make a difference if he pays money? What difference does that make?
Okay. So
how does it combat racism?
No, it actually does. So let me.
The guy hasn't got a racist bone in his body. He's done more for racism than any public figure in the country. Why should he be paying for the sins of people hundreds of years ago?
Okay, so can I finish?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So the monarchy is a symbol of white supremacy, which is what black people have had to contend with for the last 400 years, notwithstanding the fact that Elizabeth, or every king and queen from Elizabeth I.
You think the last late queen was a model of white supremacy?
Let me finish my point. You just asked me several questions. Let me finish.
Well, answer the question.
Right, I'm getting there, so just finish.
Well, hurry
Let me
up.
just finish, okay?
Hurry up.
So every king and queen from Elizabeth I to William IV has supported and profited off of slavery. So This is about the fact that this country was built off of racism, and that's
This
the
country
point. Wait,
also
hold on a
led.
second. This country
You can't just keep
stems from,
talking.
no, because I haven't even finished my point.
You
Piers.
can't just
Keep
make
interrupting.
outlandish
You
statements
keep
about our royal family. Don't
interrupting.
expect me to jump in.
Piers, you keep interrupting. Can I finish my point?
This country also led the world out of slavery.
Okay, so can I finish my point?
A
Is that
long
right?
time ago.
Can I finish my point, please?
Yes.
Perfect.
So please finish it.
I will. No problem. Just be patient. So every single.
By the way, what's worse, shirk or slavery? It's not slavery, racism. Shirk or racism? What's worse? And have you noticed Muslims are far more defensive against racism than they are towards shirk and kufr? Yeah. Why is it if somebody, like you saw that at Speaker's Corner, right? When Tan, when he said the N-word, how all the Muslims, followed him out the park. But when he was disrespectful to Islam, they just either ignored him or tolerated him. They didn't insist he leave the park. So why is that? Why is racism considered the ultimate sin, but not shirk and kufr?
King and queen from Elizabeth I, William IV, over a 270 year
just
period,
said this.
supported the enslavement of Africans and profited as a result. So it doesn't, it doesn't take any genius. Hold on a second. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that this country was built off of racism and it stems from white supremacy, all of which is directly attributed to the crown, slavery, and colonialism. To answer your point, let me finish my point. Piers, you keep interrupting.
Answer my question.
Let's have a conversation.
Answer my question.
Let's have a conversation. You spoke about slavery. Let me answer the point.
I asked you a specific question. Why should King Charles be either apologising for what happened centuries ago or paying money for it?
Okay, so what you're talking about is slavery. I'm not talking about slavery. Slavery can be traced back to Europe. The Greek slave trade to be specific in 400 BC, then the Roman Empire. Then we get to the Muslim conquest of the 7th century.
And black people had slaves.
So what we're talking about,
right?
exactly.
So
I'm not talking about
slavery comes in many forms. There is a lot of slavery around today.
So I tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about colonialism, neo-colonialism, racism, racial disparities, and the racist system of oppression and exploitation of black people and white supremacy.
Yes.
Bring me banded under the
What's that got to do with King Charles?
I'm telling you why he needs to apologise and pay reparations.
Why? What did he do?
Anything to do with slavery.
What did he do?
I'm telling you, colonialism, neo-colonialism,
he didn't do that.
Racial disparities and a racist system of white supremacist attributes. That is the legacies of the crown, slavery, and colonialism still remains.
I understand.
Let me finally get my point across. Lord,
you've got your point across, but here's my point, my counterpoint to you. What's any of that got to do with King Charles,
okay, so
who actually has been, I think, one of the great standard.
Yep, so he's defending our king. See, Piers' style, if you haven't realized after all these years, is purely defending the crown. That's it. Defend the crown at all costs. Defend the queen and now defend the king. That's it. Everyone else is fair game.
Areas in royal history for actually promoting racial inequality and tackling racial injustice.
So let me
Yet you want him to be issuing grovelling apologies.
That's why he's so scornful towards Meghan, because she went against the Queen. Well, indirectly.
For people hundreds of years ago, and you want him to pay.
Anyway, that's getting boring now. This you need to see. Right, Rand Paul.
More powerful than you.
If you don't know Rand Paul, he's the
Making
son of
your
Ron
thing
Paul,
happen.
a U.S.
Really going
senator.
for it.
Senator Paul.
Watch this.
Ms. Powers, did USAID fund coronavirus research in Wuhan, China?
We did not fund gain of function research,
That's not the
as
question.
you know.
The question is, did you fund coronavirus research in Wuhan, China?
So before COVID, right, and before the lockdowns, did the United States fund corona research in Wuhan, China? Now, what's Wuhan famous for? A supposed wet market, right, with bats.
Before my time, there was the PREDICT program with which you're familiar, which ended in China in 2019.
This is a $200 million program, and the
$200 million program funded by the US in Wuhan, China, right? Oh my goodness. And it finished in 2019. Like, all of you deniers out there, why are you so stupid? Why are you so dumb? Like, we know exactly what happened.
GAO has also identified that some of these grants went directly to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, where there is a suspicion that the lab leak began the pandemic.
Okay. There you go. That's what we said from day one. Yeah, all of these people who are out there say, no, I believe the BBC, I believe CNN. Yeah. Bow your heads in shame.
Has USAID awarded funds to the Academy of Military Medical Sciences in China?
Not to my knowledge, but I'd have to get
I think the answer is once again yes. GAO has found that there have been subawards of NIH money as probably as well as USAID money that went to the Academy of not just medical research, military medical research in China. Now,
military medical research. In other words, this was a biological weapon. A biological weapon that was developed in Wuhan.
part of the unknowns here is we can't get the records to look at this. So I've been asking for months and months for records. In September of last year, I wrote Ms. Powers, USAID, a request asking for records from the PREDICT program. These are not classified. These are simply records of scientific research. And we want to read the grants to find out what they were doing and whether the research was dangerous or not. The response
That's perfectly reasonable, isn't it? A senator is requesting public records from a public body, right? Paid for by the public. He's asking for the records on behalf of the public to be released to the public.
I got from your agency was USAID will not be providing any documents at this time.
On what basis can they deny that request? That's just, you know, what country are they? They're in the United States. They're not in Saudi Arabia, where, you know, wow.
They're just unwilling to give documents on scientific grant proposal. We're paying for it. They're asking for $745 million more in money, and we get no response. So 2 weeks ago, the ranking member, Risch, myself, and 25 other Republican senators, unfortunately, so far, signed a letter once again. It's still no response.
Yeah, sorry about that. Changing the description of the live stream. There we go. Back to Rand Paul.
We're not asking for classified information. We're not asking for anything unusual. 20 million people died around the world. You're supposed to be an agency that cares about the death of people around the world. We, talk about starvation and famine, and 20 million people died from a virus, and you won't give us the basic information about what grants you're funding around the world and who you're funding. Should we be funding the Academy of Military Medical Research in China?
Why is the United States funding China's military medical establishment? Ask yourself that question. The United States funding the Chinese. Why?
They're now off limits. But did we fund them? And who was making the decision? You know who ran the PREDICT program? UC Davis. Have you had any conversations with UC Davis about research in China and whether it was advisable?
So again, to set the record straight, first of all, the PREDICT program ended in 2019. We have people...
And yet it goes on,
Now, is that a woman or is that a transgender?
Forums and other names.
That's certainly not USAID program.
Well, you have a program called Emergency Pandemic Threats Program still, don't you?
If I could just finish in response to the first set of allegations, we have provided hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents related to the PREDICT program for the very reason that you say, because we are
not to us.
We are, again, as I know you had an exchange with Secretary Blinken as well, consistent with longstanding practice.
Not going to give them to us.
Responsive to the committees of jurisdiction.
Not going to. You've been consistent in not giving us any information.
That's not true.
But what you're
we've
saying
provided
is,
hundreds of pages in response to the Karen ranking. To the Senate, Homeland Security, and Government Affairs Committee, for example. We've had extensive
we've been requesting this and got none of it. I'm on that committee as well. The thing is what we get from you and from the State Department at large is that if Senator Menendez signs it, you'll give us documents. Until then, you'll give us nothing. And we have got nothing, zero. You said will not be providing any documents. I now have 25 senators have sent you a letter, and you aren't responding. And we don't. We want to see the scientific grants. We give you the money. The taxpayers give you the money. We deserve to know where the money went, whether it happened. Look, you're right. It ended in 2019. When did the virus come about? In about 2019. Some of the research proposals that came about in 2018 were Wuhan Institute of Virology asking for money to create a virus with a furin cleavage site in it, a coronavirus, a SARS-like virus with a furin cleavage site. That's exactly what COVID turned out to be.
Yeah, there you go. The answer is clear as day. It's in your face. This is something you will not hear the cowboy talking about.
wanted money to create such a virus. So we want to know, are there other research proposals that you either granted or denied that were on the same veins of creating viruses that could have become COVID-19? We can't tell because you won't give us information.
Again, consistent with longstanding practice, we are providing extensive documentation. We have a whole
That's
team of
just
people
not
who do
true.
nothing other
That's
than look
just
back
not
and
true.
predict.
That is not
It
true.
is factually accurate.
That is
It
not
is. The
true.
fact that-
Everything we have asked, we have not gotten. I have not seen one document on the PREDICT program.
I understand that, again, consistent with common practice.
Consistent
across
that you're not going to give it
administration.
to any senator.
No.
for
We're
that.
providing all of the kinds of documentation that you're
You are
describing.
not. You're
We
being
are.
dishonest.
We-
You're being
No, I'm
dishonest.
not. I'm
We haven't
absolutely
gotten
not.
one scrap of paper from you. Not
There-
one
again,
scrap of
with
paper.
the committees of jurisdiction, we are providing all of the paperwork that
You are
is
not.
requested by the
I'm on
chair
the
and
other
ranking
committee. I'm the ranking member on the other committee, and I haven't seen a scrap of paper from that committee either.
Well, that is.
See, here's what the
I can
American
tell you what has
people, the
happened.
American
Actually, I
people,
can't tell you what
the
happens at
American
the committee.
people think this, that because you won't respond, and because you respond with a non-response.
Why is it there are no Muslims asking these questions? Why are no Muslims standing up and challenging the narrative? We've got American Christians willing to put these people's feet to the fire. Why aren't Muslims doing it? Instead, we're being told by Muslims, take the jab, take the jab. If you don't take it, you're committing manslaughter. Like, come on, man. What's wrong with Muslims and Dawah people? What's wrong with you?
That you have something to hide. I don't know if you have any.
How many of our brothers and sisters were affected by these? Anyway.
Anything to hide or not. I want to see every grant proposal that had to do with coronaviruses that went to China from the U.S. government, from all facets of the U.S. government, and every bit of the Biden administration is stonewalling us and will not give us the information. It makes us think and makes us suspicious that you're hiding something. And it wasn't even you. This was the previous administration. We go back 2 or 3 administrations. We just want to see the information, and yet you sit there and you say we will do something, we are doing something, which is absolutely the opposite of the truth. You are not being honest.
Yeah, you have to say big up to Rand Paul. Yeah, he's standing up for truth and justice. Unlike our Muslim celebrities, yeah, silent. They were the ones telling us to take this jab and, La ilaha illallah. Look at the comments. The world would be so much different if we actually held people accountable and served justice. Yeah. The world's in a distressing state at the moment, I tell you. The Cowboys still live.
I'm gonna see if I can bring it up on screen.
I did a video a month ago called the Father, Son, and the Holy Segue, because any argument that they have, they use the Holy Spirit. Oh, you're not reading the Bible because you're not reading it with the Holy Spirit. And my question is, okay, so if we need the Holy Spirit to read the Bible, then the Bible is up to interpretation, because
No, they're still talking about the Bible. Yeah. So Dawah, in other words, talk about the Bible, 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 Bible. They're Bible extremists. The Dawah Bible extremist cult. Let me see. Bible extremists. The Bible Dawah. Bible extremist Dawah cult. How can you say that? BEDC. 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 All right, let's call it BED. Bible extremist Dawah. BED. Bible bashing
bro,
Muslims.
literally, I mean, you probably heard this too, seen this with your own eyes. In the church, I have seen people get up and say, I have a message from God unto my people, and they would call themselves full of the Holy Spirit, right?
Yeah.
So if, for example, it doesn't survive in its original language, nobody knows who wrote the books, in itself. Council of Nicaea took 25 books out of the Bible. It's ridiculous. Anybody that really takes Christianity seriously these days needs mental health help. You know what I mean? You just can't take it seriously anymore.
Here's the Christian bingo, by the way. I thought it was just so cute and hilarious.
Oh yeah.
This looks like it would be something fun, especially on Clubhouse, because
No,
there's
it was
some characters
great.
on there that would probably get the room popping with something like this.
Whereas you don't have the Holy Spirit.
It's on the far right, second to bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas
These are really funny.
you're running away. That's okay. But
These are
Jesus
just the
loves
most.
you.
These were the most common Christian things that they would say when they got to a point of being quote unquote stuck, right? So just mark it off as soon as they say it. Alhamdulillah, I thought it was pretty cute. So
Let's play Christian bingo, man. Is there any Christians in the audience, man, that want to play bingo?
we have
can get into the.
we still got 120 people on, so there's got to be someone out here.
Here, Polly.
Here's the guy who says we're all disbelievers, but then he gets really upset himself.
Oh.
He's like, they quote Bible verses instead of the Quran. That's cute. That's real cute.
And I could sit here and quote Quran verses.
Yeah,
to you.
would.
I don't really.
Yeah,
know.
you see,
Would you like to recite some?
he
Quran?
highlighted my
Actually
comment
get
there.
some, barakah in here and some reward.
Putting me on the spots, inshallah. Yeah, I could recite a small one, inshallah.
Yeah, small.
Put her on the spot, Muslim Cowboy. You put her on the spot, man.
I got to.
He's gonna make a woman recite the Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. جزاك الله خير.
Jazakallah khair, alhamdulillah. Yeah, mashallah. Even after you did it, he's I might put him in timeout. He's like, they memorize Bible verses instead of the Quran and call that dawah. Mashallah.
Hey, you wanna come up and recite the Bible? Just give us about. We'll recite 10 verses from the Quran randomly from our memorization, and then you can do the same thing. How about that, bud? From the Bible.
I would love to see that.
Wow, that's a really good challenge. Mashallah.
Hey, I'll give you 7 verses from the Bible back to back in the same chapter. We'll recite the Quran and you recite the Bible. Well, I don't even think they have one verse memorized, not even 2 or 3. No.
Bible.
I actually don't think I've ever seen a Christian recite a whole chapter of the Bible, even like the short, like they have some short chapters as well. I don't think I've ever seen anybody recite it from memory.
No.
But like, does it really count if they're reciting it in English or like saying it?
Oh, I've been placed in timeout.
Here's the real challenge: recite it in Aramaic,
Yeah.
the language of
They're,
Jesus.
they're shook, bro.
I know,
They're
I saw
properly
these
shook.
videos.
Why
It
put
had me
why
dying.
put me
I
in
think I have it
timeout?
saved even on my phone because of how funny.
Yeah, why put me in timeout? Why not display my comments if you got nothing to worry about? Yeah, because I'm spitting the truth, bro. Spitting facts. They don't like it.
So completely out of place. It's not even funny.
So the ain was with the A's like and was and.
And in the beginning, God created the heaven. It was so funny. Like I can't even. I wouldn't be doing it justice because of how funny it was.
Oh my god, that's great. I think I saw a video a couple years ago of like this. They did a video of different religions reciting the scripture, and yeah, it was like a Christmas time. This lady at Christmas was reciting the Bible in English, and it was just so out of whack. It was.
Is that the one that she's singing?
Yes.
In the beginning, God created the heavens. That one is that one you're talking about?
She's a blonde chick.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the one, dude.
Yeah.
That's miskeen to the fullest powers, man. Miskeen, really bad.
You know, you just feel bad for him at the end of the day. Yeah, Allah guide him, subhanallah.
I mean,
Bro, they need to get Jordan M. Like, sorry, they don't need. We need Jordan M. in the front line. These people, bro.
It gets bad, man. I had like walaikum salam. First question was, I have a question, and he said, she, I don't know. He said, why are the Christians saying that the angel Gabriel screamed the Quran at Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And my first question was, are you joking or are you serious? And he said, yeah, the Christians say that.
Why are you wearing your cowboy hat in the house? Like, who wears a hat indoors anyway? Who does that? And the baseball cap guy as well.
The character of Jabril is very calm. So why did he scream the Quran at Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And I just looked at my wife and I'm saying, where are they getting the word scream? I don't get it. Iqra, say, read. I was read. Right. So that's the new one today. So if you hear that one, if you hear that, because they said that Jibreel alayhi salam screamed at Muhammad, this was no angel, this was a demon. I'm not making this up.
This guy,
so that's the new one.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta call. See, this is the thing, is that, alhamdulillah, unfortunately, a lot of the Muslims who end up dealing with Christians in their personal lives, where we get these stories from, it's not even necessarily that they don't have the knowledge, but it's that I think a lot of it is a lack of confidence, right? Because these Christians, they come on really strong, like they bully you, they want to be like, they kind of act very demeaning, looking down, like, answer this, right? And then Muslims, in the desire to want to be gentle and all this kind of stuff.
Sorry about that. You said
it's okay. I'm just gonna mute. I'm gonna mute my phone. It's okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's cool. It's cool. No, send it, please. I just.
Yeah, that was all of them. That was all of them at once. But yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah. So like, I think there's a little bit of confidence that we need to teach the youngsters, right? Alhamdulillah, some of them are getting it. I think you with your trying to make men again is really good. It's helping out the young men. This is something that's really important, even for women who get asked questions. Having confidence and being able to reply to people isn't always about being able to have the right answer.
Have you not seen this guy on Twitter? His name's Faaris Hammadi. He's always like going at it against what's the guy's name? Daniel Hakikatu. These two, they don't like each other. But like, who is this guy? How can he made some comment like Muslims in England should study with Shamsi. Like, who are you, mate? How do you know? Bro, these people are jokers. They're just, that saying of where has he even studied Islam? Why is he talking about Islam? What qualifies him? And why is he speaking in English? That's not his language. He makes big mistakes in English sometimes, from what I've seen anyway. I mean, his English is pretty good compared to a lot of other Arabic speakers, but still, he makes significant mistakes. But he made a comment today which was dumb. He was asked about following a madhab. Okay. Now, where is it? What are they saying about this man?
Islamic allegiance. It's an Islamic terminology. Islamic allegiance to the ruler. And this is only given to a Muslim ruler. You can't give bay'ah to a non-Muslim ruler. It doesn't apply. And with that being said, even if you give allegiance, of course, that you obey him, obey the ruler. Even with that, if he orders you to do something that is sinful, then you don't obey him, right? We have a principle, a general principle.
See, what is he saying, bro? Like, where is he getting this knowledge? He said bay'ah or allegiance. He called it Islamic allegiance. What does Islamic allegiance mean? And that's not what the word bay'ah says. The word bay'ah doesn't say al-bay'ah al-islamiyah. It doesn't say that. Why is he mistranslating things? He's saying that bay'ah is only given to Muslim leaders. All right, where's your dalil for that?
Principle in Islam, لا طاعة في معصية.
Yeah, all right. So if you have a non-Muslim leader who does not order you to commit sins, do you obey them? So basically, everyone who's living in the West, yeah, what he's saying may be accurate for those who are living in, let's say, the UAE. But if you're living in the UK and you're British, what do you mean you don't give bay'ah to the leaders of the UK? So you don't obey them? You don't obey UK laws when you're in the UK? What are you talking about? Isn't that an indirect form of bay'ah?
Don't obey in something that is sinful or is a disobedience to Allah Azza wa Jal.
Yeah, that's standard in any situation. We don't obey the creation in disobedience to the creator, regardless of who it is, whether they're Muslim or not Muslim.
Now, with that being said, there's a lot of Muslims today that live in non-Muslim countries.
Yes.
Sahih? India, US, UK, all these other countries. Do they give bay'ah to the ruler, to the government? No. Like I said, they're non-Muslim. But
Where's your dalil that they don't? Like, where's your evidence? And what about Middle Eastern rulers giving bay'ah to the queen, right? Yeah, as part of the Commonwealth or to be a protectorate. Yeah, don't let us start talking about your country, UAE, bruv, and your history.
But does that mean that we don't obey them? The answer is also no. You obey them. And why do you obey them?
Yeah, why do you obey them if you're not giving them bay'ah?
Now, this goes under ahd, a pact or an agreement or a promise that you enter this country.
So a promise, how is that different to a bay'ah? And he's talking about people entering a country. What about people who are actually British? I mean, it's English. What about English people who are Muslims? They didn't enter the country. What are you talking about?
As a citizen or as an immigrant, and you have an oath or a promise with them, right?
No, like who has an oath or a promise with the leader? Like,
and so it goes under that you obey the rules and you go under, you apply or adhere to the rules of that country.
These people, their minds are pretty constricted, I have to say. Like, they don't understand real life, bro.
Allah Azza wa Jal قال وأوفوا بالعهد إن العهد كان مسؤولا.
So if it's the case that I'm talking about the objective is to have peace in society by obeying the rulers. Okay, if you can have that simply with a promise, then why do we even have a bay'ah in the first place? Then why do we have a bay'ah? And what's the difference between a bay'ah and an oath if the outcome is identical? What is the difference between the two? He's telling us two things which do the same thing. They have the same outcome. Then why do we have two separate things? Are they both identical? It's like saying there's two words and they mean the same thing. But he's saying one is permissible, one's not permissible. You're a confused man, Faaris Hammadi. I'm gonna have to quote him here. Yeah, I realize this guy is certainly not knowledgeable, bro. Just because he's dressed in Arabic garb and his English is, has got an accent, don't believe that he's somehow knowledgeable, and that you should take what he's saying seriously. He's just blagging, bruv. Making it up as he's going. He doesn't know. He hasn't studied. It's another cowboy. Yeah, Faaris. How do you spell his name? Al-Hammadi. Yeah. So more cowboys.
fulfill your ahd.
Fulfill is pepper.
Your promise or your pact. And the Prophet ﷺ told us of a hypocrite. One of the signs of a hypocrite is that he promises something and he breaks his promise. Or he
Yeah, okay, like, what's that got to do? Tell us the difference between a oath and promise and a bay'ah. What's the difference?
tumina khan. That means if you are given
Yeah, he's not explaining the difference.
security, or they give you something that you have to secure or responsibility, you break that and you betray it. And so this is not the manners and the etiquettes or even the characteristic of a Muslim. Even the Prophet ﷺ, when he was living in Mecca, Mecca was a non-Muslim country basically.
I like the fact that whenever he mentions the Prophet ﷺ, he says Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That shows a love of the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You know the hadith that let me see if I can find it. I haven't memorized this one. Hadith whoever doesn't and my name is mentioned. You know this hadith? Yeah, listen to this hadith. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "May the one who hears my name mentioned before him, but does not invoke Allah's peace and blessings upon me, be humiliated." It's rated as Sahih at-Tirmidhi. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رغم أنف رجل ذكرت عنده فلم يصلي علي. Yeah, رغم أنف. You know what that means? It's like to rub someone's nose. رغم أنف. Hold on. Where is my? I thought I heard somebody trying to get onto StreamYard. Looks like it didn't. Anyway, let me put the link in case there's anyone still watching or that wants to join. You can just click the link. If I can find it. Invite. There we go. Bismillah. There's the link if you want to join. Just click it. Big up, brother Abu Bilal al-Maghribi. Allah bless you, brother. Long time no see.
Because Islam was new and all that, but they never cheated or went against the rules or the traditions of the country. Of course, except that they called to Islam and they called to Tawheed. And when the Sahaba went to Abyssinia, they didn't go there and started neglecting everything. No, they were part of the people and they were living there and respecting the rules of the country and abiding by it, with, of course, like I said, without, of course, sinning to Allah Azza wa Jal. Allahu A'lam.
Yo, you really think I'm gonna let you on the stream with that name and that look? By the way, what religion are you? I know what you are. It begins with the letter after I. Yeah, bro, you're not coming on the stream with that name. Sorry. Yeah, nice try. Sorry, you guys. I don't know if you saw that. Okay, next space. Fiqh of worship, salat matters, revision. Like, why are you teaching manhaj as-salikin to English speakers? Like, yeah, bro. I don't know what to say about this individual. He's talking about the Khawarij and like, bro. Oh, there's our friend Sajid Lipham. Okay, is that the same dude again? Yeah, yeah. I knew it's one of our as the Dawa people call them, our cousins. Yeah. How are you, Elohim Goldberg? What's going on, fam? You good? And that's a photo. So I know you're gonna try and porn bomb the joint. You're not coming on. Are Muslims turning on Andrew Tate? Bro, has Andrew Tate made Toba from his pimping and webcam business? Has he made Toba from it? Yo, bingo game. You should go to the Cowboys channel and give him some of your go give him some of your action. See how he copes with it. Do a search for the Cowboy Muslim. Ginger. Yeah, nice try. Okay, this brother studied in Medina, yet he
بسم
says,
الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. السلام عليكم.
Alhamdulillah, lila, instead of lillah. Come on, bro, recite properly.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام.
Alhamdulillah, it's not lila. I'm so critical, brother. I don't know why I'm like that. So, I don't know. So too critical of people. Okay, who's trying to come on now? We've got Ginger. We've got another porn bomber. Yeah. Yeah. Are you afraid of people or something? No, I'm afraid of getting porn bombed. I know you guys are not new. I've interacted with you people in the past. Yeah. I know what happens. Does a cowboy Muslim ever eat a bacon burger or some good hardwood smoked pork ribs? Go ask him, bro. Like, don't you know the cowboy Muslim? Go check him out. This dude here.
Answer on the spot, but it's about not letting yourself get
Go to his
bullied,
channel and say
because
that
a lot of
reactionary
them,
sent you.
they,
Yeah, please. That
for example,
I'll be very happy if you
whenever
do
I've
that.
been in sittings before, you
Here's a
might
link
have
to
one
his
person
channel.
that's doing the questioning, and maybe they're, you got the little yes men, yeah, good one, right? But if you show confidence back, maybe one of the yes men, maybe this main guy who's saying things about Islam, he might never ever become a Muslim. But maybe
Yeah. So
by just showing,
go to the Muslim Cowboys channel, and yeah, these guys are trying to porn bomb the joint. Go to the Muslim Cowboys channel, jump on his stream, and do that to him. Yeah, let's see. I want to see how he reacts. So I'm going to remove you guys now. Sorry about that. There we go. Told you where to go. Go to the Cowboy Dawa guy. Jump on his show. He'll welcome you, and you can do as much of that as you want.
that izzah back and being able to just be confident and assert yourself. We do the same thing. We want to save people.
Just tell
But
him you
these
want
are
to talk
snakes,
about the
right? They're gonna
Bible,
come, they're
and
coming
he'll,
to
give you
search
as
for
much
you in the
leeway as you
cracks,
need.
and they're gonna try to tell you things. Hey, did you know this about Islam? That it actually says this and that this happened, and they're gonna fill you with doubts. Look, I've been Muslim for 9 years, and I didn't even want to enter when I did. I only did because my supervisor Islam Chat said that, look, nobody's doing dawah like this to Southern people. Maybe you can hit a new area of dawah, reaching a different type of demographic, right? And subhanallah, I mean, it's been great. But I even myself, like, I am no student of knowledge, barely. I'm like a baby. There's so many more well qualified people than me, and I am still really scared about doing this. So people who are brand new Muslims, Like I just really advise you, please go learn. I'm not saying don't belligh. Like the Prophet ﷺ did say, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." Right? He said, convey on me if it's just one message, right? But do not put your stock, lock, and barrel into making these channels, trying to get famous on social media, all this stuff, because wallahi, it's so dangerous. And the last point, it's dangerous. First, like I said, speaking without knowledge. Two, some people are going to come after you, try to give you shubuhat. They're going to come and try to attack you. And then thirdly is you're looking at dealing with riyah, right? Fame getting to you, thinking that, you might not even notice it at first. At first, you might be sincere. You get that big break. You get a video that gets 500,000 views, 1 million views. And then I'm really sorry. And then you start doing more videos, trying to say, hey, I need to get more videos to get that many views. And then you start losing that intention for doing it for the sake of Allah. And I'm emotional right now because, like myself, I have to constantly. If I
He's
don't remind
crying.
myself,
The guy's
like, I
the
wonder
guy's crying, bro.
tomorrow, am I going
Publicly.
to have done a video where it's insincere, and I'm gonna, be accountable for doing something not for the sake of Allah, but maybe my intention wasn't right. So, guys, please save yourselves. Make sure that your intentions are really in lock, guys. And look, people need mentors. If you're a new Muslim, you need to find a good mentor. MashaAllah, love the hat, bro.
Who is
You
your
need
mentor?
a good mentor, and you need to really get your deen set and straight. And that's my best advice. And y'all can say what y'all think.
I completely agree. The first week that I was on TikTok,
Of course, you completely agree.
because
you're a
as a
fanboy.
Muslim that has studied in Egypt and in Yemen, I navigated my way through TikTok like everybody else, wanting to watch stupid, funny videos. I had no intention to do any dawah whatsoever until I was kind of like pushed towards it, and I felt like, man,
Yeah, boring. Just like he's removed his video about the madhabs. Yeah, because I responded to him, and he must have got embarrassed. He had to remove it. Is that his hair? Oh, like, why isn't he wearing a hat? Why are you wearing a shirt? What are you doing? Gosh, I don't know about it. I think those people may have actually gone to his show. Yeah, our guests. Let's see. Where are they? There we go.
maybe I should do something about this.
He says we have some guests in the back.
Knowledge. So go and get your knowledge.
Yeah.
Go learn Aqidah. My first thing is always Aqidah.
Our team has gone to the
Aqidah,
Cowboy.
Rectify your belief.
Those people who were here a few minutes ago, they've gone to his channel. It's like they're going to give him some heat. Will he let them on? Who is this guy?
Come on, why are you even worried about that? Stuff like that, ambiguous stuff. Get into your Aqidah, get into the Quran, and stay there for a good 2 years, and then branch out to fiqh or whatever you want to do.
Good idea. I appreciate that. We actually have 5 guests all of a sudden in the background.
Yeah.
It was dead and they came. So we're gonna start. Yeah, all right.
He's gonna get porn bombed.
Guy, Eric Fitz.
He's gonna get porn bombed.
How are y'all gentlemen doing tonight?
Oh my
you guys
gosh.
Hear me? You guys
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
me and
Hey,
everything.
we have a
I might have to hide the
though,
screen.
man. We're not all gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, I'm not really religious or anything. I mean,
can I make
I
this
was
smaller?
brought up like non-denominational Christian as younger, but I've been watching a lot of Andrew Tate. Can y'all explain to me why it seems like
He's gonna get
the
porn bombed,
Muslim
bro.
religion seems to be the strongest.
Yeah. Does anybody want to take it from him, or
Please go ahead. We can all get in on this.
yeah?
Yeah,
So
you started, sister.
So the basis of Islam, right, is the submission to the one true God, right? And the fact of the matter is, it's the only religion that you could actually find.
Wait.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
w- hold on 1 second. Did you say it's the one true? I barely heard you. Did you say it's the one true cult? Is that what you said?
God, belief in the one
Oh
true
God!
God.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's a weird way to start
No,
off somebody to getting into a religion.
No, the one true
Come
God.
and join us, nice guy Eric Fitz.
Yeah,
Oh.
so it's the religion of the one true God, right? The Quran
They
says
actually
that,
went over to the guy. I
Allah
can't believe
subhanahu
it.
wa ta'ala says, "Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum." Today I've completed or perfected for you your religion. Wa atmamtu alaykum al-islam dina, and I have chosen for you Islam as a way of life, right?
Is there a way to say that in English?
Yeah. So I just translated it, right? So today I've perfected your religion, right? And I've chosen Islam for you as a way of life, right? So that's the verse that's in the Quran, right? And
What if I can't grow a full beard? I mean, I
That's
see these
okay.
other two gentlemen on here. They have full beards. I can't fucking grow
That's
one
okay.
of those.
You do your best. You do your best. You don't have to grow a full beard if you can't do it. You can't force yourself to do something that you can't do.
Can I shave the sides of my face? Because it will look all straggly.
I'm personally not the thick person, but if one of you two is more enlightened on that, but I
be-
don't have a beard myself, so I can.
If you were to be Maliki, and that is a school of thought, then that's different. But yeah, Islam and belief in the oneness of God has nothing to do with the way you dress. A lot of people, I'm white, I'm ex-military American, so is my guy over here, Muslim cowboy. And one thing that you don't have to lose in your search for religion is your identity or your culture. See, we believe that the most important basis of our whole entire religion is God is one. God has no sons, he has no daughters, he has no partners.
That
I
was
don't-
another
no-
thing I was.
Nobody needs to die, right? For you to get redeemed for your sins. All you say is, God forgive me. I'm sorry. I'll try not to do it again. Nobody has to die.
The other thing I was curious about is because his name is Muslim Cowboy. I thought in the Middle East they mainly rode camels from the Hollywood movies I've seen. Is that untrue?
Oh my God.
We also
No,
ride horses.
They ride horses here more than they ride camels, but yeah, there are camels for sure.
The horses survive in the desert? Wow.
The
Okay.
best horses, the Arabian horses,
The
the
Arabian
cream of the
horses.
crop.
They're some of the most expensive horses in Arabia.
Yeah.
I think the richest man in the world who has a horse is actually from Saudi, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
So
Do you
what?
guys have to be like completely sober to be Muslim? Is that that's another thing I heard. Do you guys have to be
Muslim
sober all
cowboy,
the time?
Muslim cowboy اسمعني هو ما صراحة.
What?
ايوه ايوه
ما صراحة.
They've clocked on.
غير غير
They've-
العاقل.
Come on, guys, do your
You
job,
guys
man.
know I can't understand what you're saying, right?
We're
No, he was
talking about
he was
you.
asking a question about something in fiqh, right? Which is fiqh is which it means like jurisprudence and understanding, and so I was answering him based on that. So
They said more Saraha. He's like he's not
So any other questions you got, Eric?
Well, what about the
Not
question I just asked?
not sincere.
Do you have to be
basically. Not-
sober?
Like
Yes,
you can't
do.
Not
drink
straightforward.
alcohol?
No,
No.
you can't drink alcohol.
Nothing else.
What do you mean nothing else?
Like there's got to be something.
You can't pass the
Every religion forgives something.
Well, this is the thing, Eric. Every religion, Judaism, Christianity, has folded to the LGBTQ, to alcohol, to weed, to everything else, except Islam is no. So if you were, let's say that you were to become Muslim right now, and you still drank, it doesn't take you out of the fold of Islam because it's not shirk. You're not joining partners with Allah, but you are in a major sin. Hopefully that makes sense.
So like God's not gonna love me if I drink.
I
He
am
doesn't
not
love you.
God to say that.
we don't so there's a difference between us and like the Christian understanding of our relationship with God. Yeah. We don't use this like emotional terminology of oh God loves you and all of these different things like that we hear like when some Christians will come and try to preach and stuff, right? What we say is that there's a sort of God consciousness, yeah. That God consciousness is your connection with God. The more that you do good things, the more that you do things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you avoid doing the bad things, the closer that you could get to him, right? The more you do the things that he opposes and the things that he clearly tells us not to do, for example, drinking, for example, smoking weed, all of these different things, yeah. The more you do those things, the less God conscious you're going to be, right? Because in the moments when you're doing those particular things, you're not necessarily thinking of God, right? You're not thinking of God when you pick up a beer and you start drinking and go blackout, right?
Well, I mean, that's kind of a weird argument because God made the ingredients for me to drink the beer.
No, you didn't. I mean, he made the ingredients. He didn't tell you to put them together and watch grapes ferment and all of these different things.
But he also well, I mean, that's a weird thing to say because human society wouldn't be around today if it wasn't for early fermented drinks that people drank
What?
because the
So
water was poisonous.
So I have a
Yes.
question. I have a question. Yeah. So how did algebra come about from fermented grapes?
No. What I'm talking about.
See how nice and friendly they're treating this kafir, and they never once call him a kafir, but with me they want to call me a kafir. They want to treat me like an enemy. Remember the last time I was on their show, they said they're going to slap me upside the head, right? But with this guy, they're all lovey-dovey, our brothers in humanity.
اشرب الدخان كمان تاني يا مسلم.
Well, wasn't beer invented in the Middle East?
I don't know about that claim.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, if everything was lawful, then you believe in the Bible, right? So what is the forbidden fruit all about? Why did Adam and Eve eat from the forbidden fruit? It was there. God gave it to them. So why did they eat from it?
Oh, I understand what you're saying. All right, I get it now.
That's
All
awesome.
right.
Cool. All right, man. Anything
It's
else?
just it's human greed, huh? That's what it is. So, like, Muslims are against human greed.
Well,
I
no,
think
it's about
I
submission.
think real
It's
Christians
about
are against
submission.
greed too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody's against anybody in that has anything to their life is against human greed because you don't get there without some type of greed.
Funny.
Anyway,
Truthfully, anybody that has any stature, anybody that has any stature, did not get there without some pride and some greed. Tell me I'm wrong.
Where did that get the Pharaoh? Where did that get him?
I mean, you're going way back, but where did he get the people that are nowadays?
exactly. What is it going to get those people who make this their entire focus, their entire life? You're right. It's not going to get them anywhere.
Yeah, I
according
mean,
to our belief.
they're going to be able to control the world. That's for sure.
But what happens? I mean, what? I mean, after they're done controlling the world, I mean, are they going to die too, or are they protected from death?
I mean, like I said, I'm agnostic, so I don't know.
Are they going to die or not?
I don't. Well, yeah, everybody's going to die. That's a fact. You're going to pay taxes and die. That's a fact. Those are the two things that will be definite throughout your life. You're going to die and pay taxes.
Hey, nice guy, Eric. Are you unsighted?
I don't know what that means, but like I said, I'm agnostic. I don't.
Are you blind? I was trying to be kind.
Oh no, I'm not blind.
Okay. I didn't know because when you were looking at the profile view, because I have a friend who's blind and his wife is as well, and so I just wanted to ask because I was going to offer you a free Quran. I was going to say it's on the bottom of the screen if you will look at the screen, but if you were blind, I would just read it to you so that way you could know what the free Quran is. Because I'm giving out free Qurans from my website right now, so I would be I'd be more than happy to send you one if you go and order.
Are you giving out Qurans to maybe get some more viewers?
No, I don't care. I'm giving out Quran so I can share the message of Islam to people who need it.
Yeah, he's not interested in viewers.
Alright,
He was showing off earlier about having
No problem, Steve. I'm gonna take the
140,000
next
followers on
take the next guest. I
TikTok.
appreciate you on here, partner, and may Allah guide you.
All right, y'all have an awesome night.
Take care. Peace.
You too, Eric.
All right. Next we have Callan McLeod. What's going on, Callan?
Uh-oh.
How's it going, everybody?
Uh-oh.
Oh, doing pretty good, man. How are you doing yourself?
Shalom,
It's doing
Kalin.
good. It's been busy. It's the weather sucks, but hey, gotta join somewhere. So where you guys from, anyways?
I'm from Texas. This brother, as you can see, is from the big thing with the pan and the handle, and
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
But I was born and
so-
raised in Los Angeles, though. I live here now, so yeah.
And our sister's from
That
New
sucks.
York. New York.
New York.
Yeah.
New York City.
Well, I know people from New York City. It's all right.
Yes, Kalin, we
Oh,
know you do.
wow. You didn't have nothing to say to that.
We know you know people from New York.
Tati's not getting any love.
Oh man.
So what are you guys up to tonight, anyways? I'm slightly blind, so
No, it's not Jaffa.
I'm like provision.
No, it's all right, man. No, we're just we're talking about the veracity
Quran.
of Islam. What makes Islam something that has the ability to stand on its own proverbial
Well,
legs?
I gotta ask. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to crap on your religion, because I used to be Catholic, and
Come on,
I
Kalin.
agree with like the Muslim and everything else with like
Oh no,
the,
he's
for,
getting his
for
clothes out.
certain stuff with like greed and shit.
Uh-oh. It's
But-
about to go down.
Do you agree with like the past religion of Islam that they had some issues back in the day?
I don't understand what you mean
I
by
think
that.
that naive. They've never been trolled like this, bro.
Let's see here, like the 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 murders and stuff like that from like like back in the day when they're like in the old days, like with the Jewish and the Muslims fighting each other.
The Jews took solidarity from the Muslims, so again, I don't understand what particular instance you're talking about.
This is political. This has nothing to do with religion.
No, it's not political. It's religion. It's actually does religion.
All right, so historically, we actually you could go and look into this, but historically, during early Islam, the Jews actually took, for the most part, they actually
How do you think the
liked
Cowboys going to
idea
respond?
of being under Muslim rule over, for example, the counterpart of Christian rule, simply because the Muslims actually allowed them to continue in what they were doing, rule by their laws, all of these different things, and they were living in peace. Whereas obviously, when it came to Christian and Jewish, the Christian and Jewish clash, it was completely different. So they were actually living in more peace with the Muslims than they were with the Christians. So I
Guy
don't
is
really
a
see that it has
troll,
to do
man.
with religion.
Well, how do you explain the religious war from like I'm just like like anything, like give us
Like how do you explain how do you explain the genocide in the Old Testament in Amalek?
Well, it's what the Old Testament is always it's so back far that we have people that don't care in that religion. And then what happened was like way back in the day. Let's see here. Jesus actually cared about everybody, but it was like the Jews on their side that didn't care about Jesus.
Well,
They-
this
they
actually happened
basically-
before Jesus, so we're talking about the Jews.
Yeah, and I'm saying like in
Are you
the
trying
Old
to say war
Testament,
is wrong? Are you saying
And
war?
the Quran.
I'm saying the Old Testament was shit.
No,
That's what I'm
forget the
trying to
Old
say.
Testament. Is war wrong?
Yes,
Did
war
they
is
allow
wrong.
someone on their
Okay,
channel to say
but
the Old
but
Testament
thing we're
is
fighting,
that word?
fighting the sea.
They
the
boot me off their
Mediterranean
channel?
No,
in
no, no,
way.
no. That's not what I mean.
No,
So,
no. Listen. I know war is wrong, but
They're so
no,
polite to the
according to what
kuffar.
I'm asking you, is it wrong?
They're insulting
It's wrong in
religions.
both situations. But I'm
According
saying,
to what though?
but showing showing who to be a man and what to be a man about.
They called me a
That's why
troll,
they have wars.
but he won't call this
Keelan,
guy a troll.
that's not what I'm asking, right? I'm asking, according to what is war wrong?
The war is wrong. Well, what I'm saying is like war is wrong is like it's it goes by religion. That's what basically it is. That's what all war is about. Is
Does
religion.
God condemn war? Does he say not to fight anybody? Does he say don't go against
Yeah,
those
it's
who oppress
condemn
you?
war, but
According to what? So yeah, so is there a verse or anything in particular that God tells you not to go to war? Like I mean, I know in Christianity, for example, they say
I'm not
somebody
Christian,
slaps
but
your one cheek, turn the other. Yeah.
but the thing is like if you go to war, it depends on if they're against you. That's all it is. If you,
That's not
I'm
true.
not.
That's not
Yes,
true. Was the
yes, it
Crusades
is.
run by Christians?
Ilyas, come up.
No, yes, they were run by
And
Christians, but they
who
weren't
did
run
they
by
fight against?
Catholics.
No, no, no. But who did they fight against?
They fought against Jewish people and Muslims,
No, they fought against other Christians.
and they also fought Muslims too.
That wasn't the Crusades particularly. The main objective of the
Yes, they
Crusades
did. They
was to
fought.
eliminate.
They fought Muslims also.
Can I finish my sentence? Right. So
Well,
the
well, you
main
didn't let me
objective of the
finish.
Crusades, the main objective of the Crusades was to fight against other quote unquote heretical Christians. So I don't understand.
Well, you don't understand because you don't
Yo,
understand,
bro.
You don't understand so much because you don't grow up in that era.
I
But
don't need to grow. So you understand more than me because you grew up in the era of the Crusades.
no, I lived with people that talked about it. There was people in my
Oh,
family that
so
knew about
did
the
the people you
Crusades.
spoke to, they lived in the era of the Crusades?
No, I'm saying they knew, they passed down the generations to generations the stories.
So my sources are incorrect because yours are better than mine. How?
Because it's kind of false. Like, look at the Old Testament
is
of the
hap-
Quran.
Bro,
It's
this
so
is exactly why I don't think I will ever come to YouTube, man. What is going on right now?
the old Quran is a joke.
All right, Callan, it was fun, man. I got more guests, and I got to go praying a little bit. So it was fun, man. Take care. All right, we got
Callan.
King Latifah. Latifah.
Callan.
All right.
You
King
didn't.
Latifah. What's up,
Okay,
man?
maybe King's gonna do it.
My daughter is Queen Latifah. She was also Muslim.
Okay. What are you?
Yep.
Are you Muslim?
All of these nuts.
I'm not gonna laugh at that because
What is
that's
going on right now?
all right. He's banned, not just kicked. All right. I think. What time is it in the U.S.? Is it like party
It's
time or something?
9:15 right now. Yeah, the crazies come out at night, man.
Well, at least they
But it's
didn't
not
pawn
even
bomb him.
party. Like, I mean, I guess we did start pre-gaming back in my Jahiliyyah around 9 o'clock. Dang, man.
But
These people will be.
but what was demonstrated is how these people
Go to
will
parties, man.
insult Muslims.
One look at
These
everybody.
Dawa people will attack them. They'll boot them off. And they're so polite and kind and tolerant to these non-Muslims who are insulting religions.
Oh my god! And the
And they're talking
comment
about
section, man. I
Itachi
gotta
because-
say, I love my
Disgraceful,
family.
bro.
You guys are hilarious.
You know, they basically, I think basically what he was saying is, you know, listen to me, you brown woman, Itachi. I, the white man, my sources are good, and you're just a brown woman from Egypt.
Shut up! You don't know you were just being trolled. Oh look! Guess who was on earlier?
Protected word on
It
Twitter.
is, yeah.
Oh my god!
I mean, it picks up on it sometimes, so that's probably what happened if that's the case. But it's okay.
I'm sorry that it's all my fault.
It's all good.
Yeah, they let me on. They don't give me
I know
salams. They
not to
say, "What's
anything
up?"
about the LGBT
What's
on
up?
TikTok, because that's like automatic.
Why don't they give salams?
What's up, reactionary?
What's up, cowboy?
What's
What-
up, reactionary?
Yes, what's up?
Nothing much. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
All right.
So, how do you two know each other?
So, I think when I first actually seen you before Muslim Cowboy was on TikTok, if I'm not, sorry, not TikTok, Clubhouse, if I'm not mistaken. And then we kind of interacted before on TikTok a couple days ago, if not a few weeks ago. I've seen him as well. But yeah, it's pretty much professional.
And he believes you're a Muslim.
He believes I'm a Muslim.
I don't know, does he?
I told you he's a troll, so just you'll have to bear with him for a little bit.
Yes, I am.
So he blatantly calls me a troll, right? He says it, but he doesn't call those people trolls. that were just wasting his time.
I'm a Muslim, alhamdulillah, but yeah, I mean, I think you would take that impression considering I present myself in that manner.
I believe she's a Muslim.
How you doing? I've got no problem with accepting you as what you claim, but that's not the manhaj of this guy that you're talking to.
Okay. And I'm to take your opinion. Why?
My opinion? What's my opinion?
I mean, you're coming up here claiming this, that, the third, but I don't even know what
did
you
I
are,
claim?
who you are.
What did I claim?
So it's not his manhaj. He believes you to be a Muslim. Like, what more do you want to say? Let's hear it.
Yeah, he's highlighting a comment that says, "Who is this? A Hindu?" He's calling me a Hindu, bro.
Upsets him for whatever reason, or he feels offended.
So
his defense
disrespectful.
is automatically going to be to accuse you of not being a Muslim.
Are you a Muslim?
You're very emotional.
Are you a Muslim?
Who?
You.
Who?
You reaction.
So why is she asking me if I'm Muslim? Like, is she going to treat me differently? Look how nice they were to the non-Muslims on their show just now, right? Why does she want to know if I'm Muslim?
Why would you ask that?
I mean,
why are you asking that?
You seem pretty upset about something. Like, did something trigger you? Did somebody offend you?
Well, I came on the stage and this guy is already calling me a troll. You've done nothing to defend me. Did I ever interact with you ever?
A prior rapport. You've established prior rapport. I was just repeating what had, the rapport that had been established from our previous interaction.
Okay, what is a troll?
It's fine. It's fine. So what are you? Are you Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Hindu, atheist, agnostic? Like, is there anything to you other than reactions?
Well, tell me, would it make a difference to how you treat me, knowing the answer to that question?
No, I mean, I respect people the way that they respect me. When you came up and said he believes you're a Muslim, that was a bit of seemed like an attack to me, but I'll take it otherwise if it's not.
No, I got no problem with you being Muslim. But if you say something, all right, so Muslim Cowboy, for some reason, you respect him as someone that gives da'wah, right?
Of course, he does some great da'wah. I've seen him speak multiple times before on Clubhouse.
Okay. Now, would you respect him if he's a Khariji?
Listen, man, like, is there a point for you to be on here?
Well, I want.
They got no patience with Muslims. Yeah, but they got all that patience with those kuffar coming on and trolling them.
And to speak to this guy who's very disrespectful. You just sat there.
I mean, like, so you tell me, what is a Khariji?
Somebody be disrespected.
You let me know, what's
right?
a Khariji?
Are Muslims supposed to?
They muted me at that point.
He muted.
So look, I didn't mute myself. Why would I mute myself? So would you defend an oppressed Muslim?
An oppressed Muslim? Of course, oppression is something.
Yeah, if somebody's being oppressed, would you stand up for the oppressed? Yeah, you would.
Of course.
Okay.
If it's well
so you just witnessed the oppression of somebody in your presence, right?
Are you a Muslim?
So you've
So now she's saying the only type of person she's going to defend from oppression is a Muslim. Like, where does Islam teach that, by the way? You only prevent oppression from Muslims. Like,
okay, does it matter if a person's Muslim if they're oppressed? So, all right, are non-Muslims allowed to be oppressed?
Hold on, take it slow, okay? What you're speaking about right now, first of all, you asked me, would you defend the Khariji, all of these different things. I don't even think you know what that terminology means.
like, why is she assuming I don't know what that term is? I just pronounced the word khariji with proper makharij of huruf, and she's assuming I don't know what the word means. Like, why is she doing that? It's a lie, of course. She knows I know what it means.
Let's start there. That's okay. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Secondly, I don't think you're being oppressed on the stage right now. He says he's had prior interaction with you to which you have given the impression that you're a troll. Okay. If you want to change your impression in front of the Muslim Cowboy and myself, because right now I'm not really getting a great impression of you either, right?
What did I do to give a bad impression? I simply asked questions and she avoided answering. Yeah, she did get triggered.
If you want to change that impression, let's have a productive conversation.
Even like another fanboy then.
Yeah, they keep muting me, bro.
Everyone on your show, Cowboy, is a fanboy for some reason.
Okay, so hold on. I just want to just real quick.
we-
I'm curious. So you say that I'm insulting, which I just said you were a troll. Okay, that's all I said.
Yeah, that's not an insult. Calling someone a troll is not an insult. That's all I said.
From previous interactions, right? I brought you up to give you a chance.
Oh, he's so kind, giving me a chance. Like, I should be so grateful to him.
You not only call me a khariji, which means my blood is halal.
No, you calling me a kafir, right, or questioning my Islam, that's making my blood halal. Calling someone a khariji does not make their blood halal, by the way, because Ahlul Sunnah believe that the Khawarij are still Muslims. Yeah, it doesn't mean their blood is halal, you dummy.
Okay, that's that's about as.
Well, you called me a kafir.
I
A
never
kafir's
called you a
blood is
kafir.
halal, right?
Never
Yes, you
called
did.
you kafir.
He said he didn't call me a kafir, but all this time they've been saying, "Are you Muslim? Are you Muslim?" Saying "Are you Muslim?" that means you don't believe the person's a Muslim. That you're basically putting them in the realm of kuffar.
No, I didn't. Bring it up. Bring the proof.
Last week, right? Well, last week.
Yeah,
last
kadhib.
week.
And he's misquoting the ayah there. He said, "Hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiqun." It's not sadiqun. It's kuntum sadiqeen. This is talib al-ilm.
Even like another fanboy. Then everyone on your show, Cowboy, is a fanboy for some reason.
Okay, so hold on. I just want to just real quick.
we-
I'm curious. So you say that I'm insulting, which I just said you were a troll. Okay, that's all I said. From previous interactions, right? I brought you up to give you a chance. You not only call me a khariji, which means my blood is halal. Okay, that's 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 about as.
Well, you called me a kafir.
I
A
never
kafir's
called you a
blood is
kafir.
halal, right?
Never
Yes, you
called
did.
you kafir. No, I didn't. Bring it up. Bring the proof.
Last week, right? Well, last week.
Yeah,
last
kadhib.
week.
So
last
is he a
week
Muslim
you
or
accused
is he
me of not
not?
being Muslim.
Are you a Muslim?
Are you a Muslim?
Yeah, the question is assuming I'm not a Muslim. Are you Muslim? Are you really a Muslim? No way. Like,
I asked you last week if you're a Muslim. I didn't call you a kafir, you crybaby.
yeah, but if I spoke with a sort of Arabic accent, that I would be, yeah, there'd be no doubt about me being Muslim, yeah.
And you didn't answer. You said, "What does it
You're
matter?"
still not answering.
Watch the
No
video,
Muslim,
right? And you
no
see how you behave
Muslim
towards me.
doesn't answer.
Tell me if
I
that
don't
was
know. I'm not going
respectful.
to answer. Okay.
Can you?
Yeah, he booted me off there. Because he can't handle it, bro. Cannot handle it.
Okay, it's gone.
All right, we've got now Alex Power. What's up, Alex Power? Can you, before I bring you?
And they allowed Alex Power to spend hours on their show, bro. Yeah, it's very disappointing. bro.
No,
To me, it just
Oh, they've got
contradicts
that
each other.
troll on.
It just doesn't make any sense. And
Yeah. Do you think they'll dare to call this girl a troll? This is one of the crew that I didn't allow on just now. One of the J crew.
well, LGBTQ doing all this and being pro-choice or whatever. It just, to me, just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
The thing is, like, people that align themselves with these kinds of views and and these parties and all these different things, right? For example, somebody who says I'm a Muslim, and then they'll also in another breath say I am pro-LGBT, protect the people, allow people to be the way that they are, all these different things. This could actually be a case of a nullification of their religion, right? Simply because they're trying to rule by a law other than what it was that was ordained for them by God.
See how nice and friendly they are, sucking up to the non-Muslims.
That there is a,
But they talk to Muslims like dirt.
in a sense, is a political side which is coming with particular laws, all of these different things, right? So in that sense, it could actually put, and this is a very big problem these days when it comes, especially when it comes to younger children, and this is partly to blame because of the way in which the society itself is bringing up the child, right? It's partly to blame on that side. It brainwashes people, and I believe it's indoctrination in some forms as well. So in that sense, since people are like kind of straying.
Tell me if you think this person speaking is that a woman or is that a young man? Can you tell from the voice?
Brought up in the sense that they're actually learning their Islam, or they're learning Catholicism or anything of the sort. They're kind of just learning what the school system, for example, wants to portray to them. So it's very problematic in many senses, but yeah, it's definitely not a good thing, and it's very, very dangerous, especially if you're trying to claim to be a Muslim and say that you're aligning yourself with these views. You could potentially be actually be taken out of the fold if that's the case, the fold of Islam. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think that them claiming to be like a certain religion and then saying they're, again, all these like super left-leaning, having all these left-leaning views just doesn't make any sense to me. One more question. Do you think, I feel like now there's so many, especially I feel like I've been seeing in New York, a lot of people claiming to be Catholic and Christians, but you see churches nowadays with like rainbow flags and all rainbow flags and all that. Do you think because Muslim they're more like, how can I put this? They don't really play with all that, you know what I mean? You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Like they don't play with all that. They're very like, hey, this is not the way it is. Do you think more people are gonna lean towards being Muslim now? That like I
yes.
feel like
Yes,
Christians and
absolutely.
Catholics are being watered down with the LGBTQ and everything.
The biggest community converting to Islam right now in the US is literally the Hispanic community. You know that? The biggest community converting to Islam is the Hispanic community. Why? Because
That's true. Sorry to cut you off,
Yeah, go ahead.
because my boyfriend knows this woman. She's Puerto Rican, right?
Mhm.
And then she's married to a Muslim man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Some
He's
of
his wife.
the biggest communities right now in New York and Texas, these really like prominent states in the US, the biggest community converting to Islam is the Hispanic community, simply because a lot of the views that they do align themselves with, right? So for example, the big on family thing, where Islam is literally a societal religion. It's not a independent individual religion, though on some levels it is, of course, but the majority of it, it's a societal religion, right? It comes with a societal law, something in which you're supposed to run a people by, right? Not just an individual spiritual aspect of it, but also just a people in
Shut
general,
up.
grouping people together, making sure that everybody's good and all these different things. That's one aspect. Another aspect that that would align with many Hispanic people is what you were saying about being conservative, right? Seeing the views be watered down by things like the way in which people are trying to propagate Catholicism or Christianity in general today is definitely displeasing to some of those people in those communities, right? Because that's a very big thing to them. They understand the problem with it, and they're not seeing it being reflected back in the things that they were brought up in, for example, right? Like Catholicism, Christianity, even just the place that they're living in general, right? And Islam, when they see Islam and they recognize this religion, right, and they recognize it as a way of life, they recognize the same ideals that they had, that they were growing up with, right, being reflected by these people, right, by many Muslims throughout the world, right? There are a few who will misalign themselves and say these different things, but that doesn't make them necessarily a spokesman for the religion, right? The religion itself, it'll speak for itself, right? That's what it is at the end of the day. But it's definitely like a big thing for a lot of the people that are converting to Islam. It's about the fact that it's something which is cut and dry, right? There's no changing it. There's no going back on it. The fact that it's been here for how long now, and all the resources are accessible to people now, it's not something that will be ever construed or anything of the sort. There may be people that will push propaganda on it and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, somebody who actually wants the information, they'll be able to access it. Somebody who wants to actually learn the truth, to be guided and all these different things, they have the access to that. And it's not something based off of emotional appeal. It's something that appeals to your mind, which is the very, like, from, in my opinion, honestly, I think the biggest motivation for anybody is something that really appeals to your mind and also touches your heart at the same time, not just one or the other, right?
Mhm. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And,
No, I
and,
totally
and,
get
and,
it.
and I would just add, this is, I made videos about this all the time. When you see Christianity folding to the LGBTQ and other things, and Judaism now in Israel, they had their flag, the Israeli flag here, and below it was a pride flag with the Star of David in it. That's why people convert to Islam, because Islam says we don't care about the political climate. We don't care if you don't like us. And honestly, the real the reason why people are so Islamophobic, and the reason why people attack Islam is because literally we are the only system, the only religion that has things set in concrete, our laws, what we follow by the Quran and the Sunnah, or the sayings and the doings of our Prophet Muhammad. We are unwavering in it, and that
You didn't say
appeals to a
sallallahu
lot
alaihi
of
wasallam.
conservative people. I'm from the South. I'm in Oklahoma right now. My whole family's conservative, you know,
Yeah.
and conservative Christians have to know that we have to ally, you know, with our conservative views as well, because the immoral world wants to not only attack Islam but Christianity and Judaism and everything else that's in its way for the quest of power and complete dominance. And Islam says, hey, we've been attacked since day one. We're still here. Not only are we still here, 20,000 American Christians become Muslim in America alone every single year. Now, I'll ask you the question, have you ever heard about a statistical number where 20,000 Muslims become Christian in America every single year? Because nobody takes it seriously. You know, if we don't need religion, then why did God send prophets? Why did God send books to guide us? You know, we don't. That's the thing. We don't know. We need to be reminded by messengers and books to call us back to what is right. If we don't do that, then our religion is our own desires and lusts, and that's not the way that we were meant to live. If you being of conservative mind know that more than anybody.
Yeah, and also I feel like nowadays, as soon as you say you're Christian, they throw out, "Oh, you're a white supremacist" and all that. But I think as soon as you say you're Muslim, they can't really say anything, because if they do, they'll look like they're the, I don't want to get your thing popped or anything, the R word. I don't know if you racist.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, they can't really say anything to Muslim people about their faith and their religion, because it's gonna make them look bad, like they're the, you know, racist people and stuff. But as soon as you say, "Oh, I'm Christian," it's, "Oh, you're a white supremacist," blah blah blah. You see, I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I feel like it's crazy nowadays. It's ridiculous.
It is, and every single other religion is folding. Look, you know, we need people. Look, you know, I don't know if you know this. You probably know this. The Christian church. I used to be a Christian 19 years. The first 19 years of my life. I've been a Muslim now for 32 years, and things are changing. Christianity, or not Christianity, but the Christian church in America is a cash cow. It's a business. I grew up in the business, right? You know, pastor needs a new Cadillac, and you know, he lives in a bigger house than everybody else, and that's the reason why nobody takes it seriously anymore. Nobody takes Christianity seriously. Yeah, you know, you have the Bible. Since the Council of Nicaea in the year 325, 25 books of the Holy Bible have been taken out. Christian theologians will tell you, yeah, we don't know who wrote 80% of the Bible. We can speculate, but we don't know for sure. Whereas the Quran, our holy book, it was mutawatir, or a mass witnessing of the revelation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him. And he would hear the revelation and he would speak it to the people around him, and they memorized it from day one. This is before the invention of paper, right? So they would memorize it so as not to lose the meaning of the Holy Quran. The Bible, you don't have that. I can recite the Holy Quran that was revealed 1400 years ago. And if I make one mistake, even in a pronunciation, he will, the whole room, everybody, all the viewers will correct me. Wait a minute, you missed one word, or you added a word. I'm talking about word, syllable, letter. You can't escape. And that's
You
why
got to get it right.
you got to get it right. It's the word of God. And 200 million Muslims today have memorized all 114 chapters of the Holy Quran. That's one of the reasons I became Muslim, is because, wow, you people memorize your book? What? That big book that you gave me, this one? It's outstanding. It's unprecedented. You don't see that. I challenge any Christian to come up and from the Bible, any chapter of the Bible, by memorization, just recite 10.
Hello? Aziz.
Oh, yes. Alaikum.
Alaikum salam. How you doing?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, not too bad. So what is that? Who's that? Is that Malik?
I don't know who he is, bruv. Do you know him? Have you heard of him?
I think I've seen him on Twitter. What's his name?
Maliki Click.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Okay. I'm never
He's
heard of him.
Maliki. Yeah, I've seen him on Twitter.
10 verses realize that.
Yeah, why is he Maliki then? Anyone who says they're a madhab, they're an idiot, bro.
Huh?
Anyone who says they're a madhab, they're an idiot.
But there's been a revised. Well, I thought it's quite cool to say it now.
Yeah, that seems to be
Not that I agree with them.
deviants who do that now. I saw a video today of Uthman al-Khamis. He said there's no harm in studying madhabs. That's a good thing because there's a lot of work and research that's been done by the madhabs in their time. But to say you are a madhab is foolish. Okay, we take the dalil wherever it's found. We don't follow a madhab blindly, bro. That's stupidness.
Yeah, but everyone in England says it's cool. Like Dilly Hussein, Hammadi, everyone,
Yeah.
they say it's cool.
They just repeat what they hear, isn't it? There's no
Because they say the madhab of Imam Ibn Abdullah is a new madhab. It's 100 years old or 200 years, whereas their madhab is older and more authentic.
Yeah, that's their logic.
Yeah, I'm just saying, which kind of for them makes sense. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the Soas Islam, which seems to be the dominant school of thought now in England,
yeah,
is that you had 1,000 years of pure classical Islam. Then the Bedouins made a new madhab. Can you see where they're coming from?
Yeah.
And their hatred of MBS and stuff, it only gives them further proof that, not that I'm saying the two are linked, but I'm just saying this is how people are thinking. Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went on this Cowboys channel earlier today, and he disrespected me again, muted me, and booted me off. But with these there's these non-Muslim trolls who've been going on his channel this evening, and he's been treating them like so kindly and politely. Like, why are they like that, bro? Anyhow, can't force people to behave appropriately.
Yeah.
And the guy was drinking alcohol on his stream, bro. One of them actually used bad language, and he tolerated him and treated him like calling him brother and stuff. People are shady. Just call yourself Dawa, and then everything's fine.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Yeah. What did they talk about this week?
The Bible as usual. Yeah, they're Bible bashers, memorizing the verses of the Bible and stuff.
Okay.
Hammadi Dawa.
I think but that's their target audience, isn't it? Maybe they think that if they can convince those people in the South, whether those people who go to Bible school, if they can convince them, they probably think it's easier to speak to them than the atheists.
Yeah, but why not call them to the beauty of Islam and the verses of the Quran and the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ? I think one of the things that will be most effective in encouraging people to become Muslim is teaching them the seerah, teaching them the life of the Prophet ﷺ. That is probably one of the most impactful things to people becoming Muslim. Just banging the Bible all the time.
So, yeah. Yeah. It's difficult for them, isn't it? Well, I don't know if it's difficult, but everyone has their own style, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, but they all have the same style, all these Dawa people. Their style is talk about the Bible, 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 Bible.
Well, if they're speaking to, because it's the same people in Hyde Park. If you go there and you see Joseph Smith every week, I don't know.
Why not talk about Islam instead?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they need to find a different audience.
No, but
Or
the
different.
people you're calling to need to hear about Islam too, right? The Christians need to hear about Islam.
Yeah, but it's like that's why some people, for example, a lot of people stop going to Hyde Park, isn't it? Because it's the same fools there every week.
Yeah.
That you end up speaking to. So that's what I'm saying. They need to find. Yeah. Yeah. So it's yeah. It's like they need to find a different audience because it's the same people. Like you don't see Issa Dawa at Hyde Park anymore or anything. It's the same audience.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of people who go there. So I don't know. You might find one or two different people who are new, like a tourist passing through. But it's the same people, far and few between. It's like Sarah and those guys. Remember when they went to the park? They went there for about 4 years or 3 years. Jedi and those guys. See, they're bored already now, so they stopped. Because they realized that they're just having the same conversations every week.
Yeah.
It's not what they're it's not what they're interested in, isn't it? It's like if they want to speak about, I don't know what they want to speak about, but
Bro, we watched a video on here earlier of Rand Paul in America questioning some woman who's in charge of funding research. Bro, they spent $200 million, which they gave to the Chinese Institute of Military Medicine to fund research into the coronavirus. And that ended in 2019. And you know the location of that Chinese medical, military medical research center is?
yeah.
It's the Wuhan Center for Virology.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's difficult. I don't know what they. Yeah, I don't know these guys what they do.
Yeah. So there was some trolls who came to my channel earlier. They're part of a particular lobby group from a country that begins with I. And what they do, they normally go to channels who are live streaming, Muslim ones, and they will display pictures of nudity so that the channel gets struck, okay? And the stream gets taken down by YouTube because of offensive material. So I didn't let them on. I told them go to the Muslim Cowboys channel. Bro, one by one they've all gone on there. But they haven't done the nudity bit. They're just been wasting this time so far, pretending they're interested.
Yeah, yeah. So oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The internet is just full of trolls, and you don't know who's who on the internet. So, oh yeah, I saw that they took apart. You know that Purdy things.
Yeah.
That Ethan Klein interviewed her.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's a dumbo and a half.
She
She's a bad
is.
boy.
Yeah, she really is.
But
I need to go masjid, so I'm gonna end this stream. Yeah, let me end the stream and go masjid. All right.
anything, she's realized, like, I'll just say what men want to hear, or like, I'll just say the opposite of what a feminist would say. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then then she'll boast, oh, I've got 1.4 million viewers or subscribers. You understand?
Yeah.
That's her. That's her. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, she couldn't. Yeah, she doesn't know much. Yeah, she's 24, isn't it? She doesn't know much. Volleyball player. But is that why Sarah got annoyed with her? Because she said slavery wasn't that bad or something.
Yeah, but I think it's once the African American community turned on her, then he's got no choice. He has to turn on her too.
But he can't, because she gave him a platform.
Well, you could argue
I
that
think
he built her channel, right, as well.
Yeah, but that's what. Okay, why didn't he do it himself? He's been around. He's older.
Yeah.
He can just hold it. He can invite Jedi, Big Bro. He's like 45. She's 24. So yeah, it's like, so he didn't know before that people were interested in love and dating advice. He didn't realize before that, like, so when he wanted to talk race and stuff with Ali Dawah, he thought he would get more kind of views fighting with Muhammad Hijab in the park than talking about, baby mothers and all this type of nonsense on his, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, because that time was they were fighting for Tommy, weren't they? They were trying to protect the park from the Muslims. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
let me just end this stream, inshallah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right,
Okay.
everyone. Thanks for watching. Big up and peace and blessings on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah guide the Cowboys and the other Dawah people. All right. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.